Yo, what's going on, everyone? Welcome to Late Night 241. We are back with a bang, back with a live stream, back with a lot of Charizard. I'm Zach Lesage. We're here with my good friend Dario. What's up?
Yes, what's up? What's up? I'm excited to be back commentating Late Night 241.
Yeah, no, it's absolutely fire. I think we've been kind of like watching through some of the matchups and stuff that's going on. We were talking about it right before we hopped into the booth. We got some Grimmsnarl, some Charizard. Early predictions. What do you think is going to win?
I mean, if we go sheer numbers, I am just shocked at the amount of Charizard there is, whether it's Dragapult Charizard or just Charizard Pidgeot. A lot of the lists, similar to what won seniors at NAIC with Gabriel Fernandez. Charizard's a deck that's like ever since Obsidian Flames and when its release, it's always been good. But I think like recently it's probably been the worst it's ever been.
That's
But I don't know.
probably fair.
The deck is showing up tonight, so maybe Secret Medical. I mean, it did win NAIC, right? And Gabriel Fernandez, a player of his level, bringing the deck means something, right?
I think people want to see Charizard do well, and it's something to consider for sure. So I don't know. We'll see how that goes. I'm just going to switch us over to our standings, and we'll kind of see exactly what's doing well at the tournament.
Yeah, the top. Oh, another deck that we haven't really. We saw, I think maybe 2 or 3 in day 2 of NAIC, but the Thorns Crustle. Yeah, it's low-key scary. It's one of those just like matchup check decks, right? A lot of decks just can't deal with it.
Yeah, that's
pretty interesting to see.
It's one of those decks where I was like thinking about it, and I'm like, as long as you avoid Gardevoir. I know my buddy Mike ended up playing it tonight, and he ran into a Gardevoir and a Slowking deck. So that was kind of interesting.
Yeah, the Guardy matchup too, I've honestly seen it's like Crustle is 250 HP, you know, if they're not playing the Drifloon version of the deck, it could get tricky. I don't know, it's pretty interesting deck, honestly.
So one thing that I also like doing when it comes to these tournaments is like seeing who are some of the players that are going to be representing in phase 2, because we are about 5 or so minutes from phase 1 switching over to phase 2. And if we look over at the details page of Late Night, we have all players with 16 or more match points, which I guess is what, 5, 2, 1?
5, yes.
So we will see some players make it. Like, I think that's the biggest thing, is like we're gonna see some players at 5-2-1 make it. So if we go over to our current standings, let's see. I don't know who Regidrago is tough. Some of these people have the funniest like nicknames.
Yeah, a lot of people maybe trying to not leak the play for Worlds, right? Their play, trying to maybe go a little low key, change your name a little bit.
I mean, I can see from behind the scenes like who some players are, and I don't know. We could always go through and check, see exactly what's due and if there's anything we want to do. I'm reading through the chat here. We have Brandon Brandon. I hope I'm not butchering the name. I probably am. Let's see if we can find it. Brandon. I can't find them. If you let us know what your username in the chat is, they said they hope they get a mention for the weirdness of their deck. Well, you caught us at a good time, so we're in between rounds here.
I love me some art off meta stuff.
I mean, I also have to say, like, I'm pretty happy we had Kamala Harris play in our tournament as well. Kind of crazy. 84th place? That's crazy. We take those.
That's pretty good.
Was this... Wait, 84 Import Dreams? 85th. Okay,
Okay, wait, I found it.
You found it? You were just like... Is everyone here ready?
I went to the other tab.
The other tab? Minikyu Cook?
I mean, he cooked. we were talking about Crustle. This is essentially just like the similar idea. You just have like Lux Cape, just spam cook.
So you're
I
just
mean, he
going
could,
Mimikyu all in, right? Like,
and you just pray that you're not. I mean, what decks can like easily beat this? Probably Guardy. Like nothing's
well, let's
playing
see what
Mist Energy.
matches. So Grimmothy looked like it was tough to deal with.
I could see that. Just set up Frostlasses
Dragapult,
and
Dust Noir.
yeah. But I mean,
Understandable.
dude, bro hit two Saraledge, four Grimmsnarls, and two Dragapults.
Also hit the supreme leader of North Korea. So some very interesting players playing at the late night events tonight. Pretty excited. I mean, it's an honor to have all these. I'd say, I guess, is celebrity politicians. Do we just go politicians?
Yeah, I would love to see a Kamala Harris versus the Supreme Leader of North Korea finals, but I don't think it's.
You could have it here
I don't
at
think
late
it's in
night.
the
I don't know
book.
if you could have it anywhere else. But I don't know. We have some interesting players here that are just like some interesting decks. This is the deck I thought Iron Thorn's Crustle is. It's a great way to like just body some events here. Not
Yeah,
deck
for
builder,
sure.
deck image. I think it looks cool.
Trying to see some other potential interesting things at the top. We got a few EV boxes, which is pretty interesting. Of course, EV box has a really good Grimmsnarl matchup. So, and Grimmsnarl was the most played deck in this tournament by quite a good percent. It
Yeah.
was 13% compared to Gardevoir, who was 9% at second.
What deck had the best win rate? Blaziken, 75%, but someone went 3-1, I guess, drop.
Oh, I
Iron
was looking
Thorn's
at their list.
Crustle up there.
I mean, it's low-key pretty good. It's low-key pretty good.
Poison? What? There's some interesting decks here for sure. I mean, that's late night. I think for anyone who's tuning in, these events are every single Wednesday. They are free to play. And I mean, we offer some pretty cool pricing. I mean, it's free to play. You can win some codes. We have some sleeves, some stuff that we give away. We're looking for more sponsors. So if you're feeling generous or you're like, hey, you want to know what? I didn't know this existed. There's always opportunities. Now, I think we're just like one match away, 45 seconds away. You can see it's a 6-1 table. Did they finish their game? Not yet. So we are just going to see whatever happens there happens. Probably going to be a tie at this rate unless they submit the win in the next 30 seconds. But
both of them would be confirmed into phase 2 regardless.
Yeah, 18 match points. That's pretty good. And I think what we have here today is everyone with 27 or more match points. So that is 9 and 2, I think. 9, 18, 27. So anyone who goes 9 and 2 is able to make it into the asymmetrical top 8 or top 8 in general. So we'll see exactly how that plays out.
There you go. It was a tie. I recognize some of the name. I recognize the Japanese player that just got the tie, the Charizard player. That's another player that's constantly playing in these online tournaments. They're really good practice, I find. Good practice. It's better than a ladder sometimes. You know, a little bit more serious, a little bit more stakes, so people are trying a little bit harder. And also, it's pretty fun sometimes to just play open deck lists. It kind of gives a different dynamic to what we're used to in tournaments, you know? No surprise text. You can kind of play around what you know your opponent's playing.
And I'm just going to go ahead and let our staff know that we're good whenever.
Someone asked us in the chat, what do you think about this Zard poll list of Reggie Drago is tough? I'm looking at it now, Double Monkey. That's pretty interesting. Double Monkey's still on the unfair stamp. I've seen some players try Double Monkey with Sparkling Crystal to save yourself on some attachments. But I mean, if we can set up Double Monkey, this seems ridiculously powerful. I think I mean, Monkey Dory is kind of, we're definitely going to see a lot of it tonight, right? One of the strongest cards in the format right now. Just so much spread going around that a card that turns the spread that your opponents are going for into your damage is just such a good card, right? Pretty interesting list. I like it. No
For sure.
Badoo opting for the Cleffa.
So it looks like we are in this next round. So we're actually going to start streaming some of this gameplay. I'm pretty hyped.
Me too. You know I am a Charizard gamer, so I would be happy to see some of the Charizards, Thorn Crustle. There's a lot of actually interesting decks. Love me some Gholdengo. Even a Gholdengo without the Dragapult, I think we see in 8th right now. Straight Frostlass Monkey Dory. We got some interesting stuff.
Since you're our guest here, let me know who we want to toss into the thing. We got a few games that are streaming.
Let me see here. I'm trying to see the names on Limitless and see what table they're at, but some of the names aren't exactly matching.
Yeah, it's sometimes tough. I know Xavier is the one who is talking in the chats. They said they went 6-0 to 6-2. They're definitely on some there.
You know what? Let's go to Match VC2.
Match VC2. Okay, cool. Well, we will jump into that. Everyone stay tuned, and we will be right back in like 10 seconds. Okay, I think we are here.
Yep. I believe I found them on Limitless as well. Sharkbait 502 versus Leon Dark Devil. Garchomp versus Guardian. The Garchomp starts with just an attached pass. Oh, and the top deck of TM Evo. Okay, this is a pretty decent start if you're the Gardevoir player here.
Yeah, I mean, there's also a Psychic Energy in the hand. I think I like the idea of going with Artisan first because that's the freest search. Look through your deck, see what's going on, and we can see that they're looking for those Curlia, just like being like, okay, we're cooking. We got Curlias. They're not prized.
There you go. You got the 2 copies. Could go for the second Ralts with that Ultra Ball if he truly does want the double Curlia TM Evo here. More importantly, though, what do you think about the matchup in general? Garchomp versus Gardevoir.
I think Garchomp Pokemon with high HP are kind of tough to deal with when it comes to Guardy, especially now as like Guardy lists are just like they're like, yeah, we'll just cut Drifloon, yeah, we'll just toss in 4 Monkey Dories and try to make it happen. So a lot of the times I feel like you're kind of playing the matchup as like a mind bend ruler, trying to figure things out from that standpoint.
Yeah, and you see here Sharkbait playing the Isaiah Bradner list, or at least very similar. The concept with the Turbo Energize has the 4 Dark, the 4 Monkey Dory, no Drifloon like you were mentioning. I think here, Guardy EX is probably one of your main attackers in this matchup just because of how much HP it has and how hard it is to KO, especially because it does have that resistance of fighting, so basically nullifies one of the Roserades.
Yeah, it's pretty fair. Gardevoir definitely has to be your big attacker. It's like Gardevoir plus a couple Monkey Dories usually equals a knockout on a 2 prize card Pokemon.
But even then, 2 Miracle Forces does not even KO a Garchomp with a power weight on it, so it's a little bit of a ridiculous.
That's a thick Garchomp.
Yeah, I'm looking at the list here and I'm just like, you kind of only have Guardy EX to attack with because Mind Bend isn't that effective when you consider the fact that Garchomp has free retreat. 400 HP Pokemon with free retreat is a little ridiculous.
But we do have, I think Mew EX is okay into copying it because it has the second attack at 260. maybe with a couple pre-planned Monkey Dories, and by a couple can turn into 3. Adrenabrain plus Mew EX can sometimes be okay, but we don't really have a way to get rid of that power weight.
No tool scrapper yet. No tools. No tool scrapper, no lost vacuums, none of that. So the tools that get attached are staying on. And I'm glad to see here now we see the Garchomp player actually get set up. Had an Arven in hand, so it was more of a wasn't a dead hand, just more of a go second hand. See the power weights get immediately attached to those Gibbles, 140 HP. That's even tough for a Screamtail to knock out.
Yeah, it's a lot.
It is.
It's a lot. But that's okay. We'll figure that out as we get along there. I mean, either that or we don't. I think now, I guess when it comes to this tournament, it's our first time running this structure with the additional Swiss rounds. Do you think there's a world where X3 makes top 8? Probably not with 300 plus players, right?
Probably not. I would be surprised.
I think X3 makes top 16 maybe, but probably not top 8.
Yeah.
I do want to say that I like the Gardevoir player, the way that they're kind of sequencing things out. Like, I think for the most part, they're doing most things in the correct order. It's just, I guess we'll see how they're able to cook their opponents. If they're able to start, like, attacking, taking prize cards. Like, we could see a knockout on that active Roselia this turn.
Yeah, I'm not sure how many Psychic Energies are in the discard right now. This restart has been kind of clutch, been the main draw engine right here. This is the, I believe the first draw support that we see on the side of the Gardevoir. Yep, Earthen Vessel. Okay, I don't know how many Psychics are in there, but now we're going to get a lot, especially with that Ultra Ball in hand. And already 2 monkeys set up.
Yeah, with
pretty good board state.
Maybe they're just keeping it for next turn to try to draw a card and trying to get down a 3rd Monkey Dory, because I think having more Monkey Dories in this matchup than not is going to be quite helpful. Could also see that active Monkey Dory potentially. Actually, do they play? They don't play Rare Candy in this list, right?
The Garchomp, I can take a look, but I don't believe most lists don't, because they try to just go for that.
Kind of slow and steady wins the race. Gibite gets set up.
But no, we're playing 3 rare candies in this list.
Okay. Well, we could see a response knockout. We also got to factor in that Monkey Dory has resistance when it comes to any damage that the Gibble, Gibite, Garchomp line's doing. So if they're doing just 110, they're not going to get that knockout. So they got to really shoot over it. Being able to hit a little bit harder here.
And looking at the list, this is actually a pretty interesting Garchomp list. It's definitely more aggressive than some other lists I've seen, opting to play 2 Power Glass just for those matchups where you just want to be using the Draconic Buster, hitting for 260 every turn. And there you go, we see one of the 3 copies of Rare Candy coming into play, 400 HP Garchomp online here. Can he KO this Monkey Dory this turn? Corkscrew Dive, not enough, only doing 70 damage right now because of that resistance.
Yeah, that's not enough, right? Like 100 minus 30, not enough. It's not even a 110. Wasn't getting the knockout, so going for that big attack, discarding those energies, that's gonna be a tough sell for the single prize card Pokemon.
Yeah, it's better than my Sharkbait circling the fighting resistance. He knows, but I mean, it's discarding 2 energies to take 1 prize card feels bad, but you know what feels worse? Doing 70 damage into Monkey Dory that's just gonna flip 60 back. So Draconic Buster definitely the better play, and it looks like that is what Leon Dark Devil's lining up here.
I mean, let's watch it. That attack knocks out Monkey Dory, I think. I'm not very good at math.
260 minus 30.
30. I'm starting to count up. What?
We see a pass, opting to just not attack, preserving those energies. He just says, you know what, this feels too bad.
Yeah, I'm gonna say
Oh.
I did play at a League Cup maybe about a month ago for last formats, maybe a little bit over a month ago, and my opponent was playing the Azumarill, and they did not attack my active Pokemon because they didn't want to take damage themselves. If you do not attack, you're probably not winning the game unless you're playing control. So every single turn is painful, especially when your opponent starts adding damage, because we're probably going to see a mind bend on this Garchomp, forcing them to have to retreat into the active. And then Draconic Buster is probably not an attack next turn.
Hmm. Yeah, it's just the board state isn't getting advanced if you pass, like you said. And I mean, eventually you're just gonna have to attack into this Monkey Dory. Right now, Sharkbait is able to set up the triple monkey, able to flip over 90 damage, uh, snipe onto anything. So now your Roselias aren't safe. Not sure how much I love that pass, but let's see what he has up
I
in
mean, I don't know if I
store.
like the attack. I'll be on it real either, right? Like, that's a hefty attack. But I don't think you
Yeah,
go towards that play, at least split your energies or see, oh, I guess we're going right in with Guardy and we're going to take some damage off Guardy. Um, I don't know if I
I like.
like this. I think it's fine.
No, I like this. You aren't in threat of getting one shot. You get to spread 60 onto a Roselia, potentially just threatening the KO for next turn. And more importantly, since you're not able to get KO'd, you're just gonna have 200 damage sitting on that Gardevoir EX for the rest of the game that you can just
Yeah, I
shoot
guess
off
it's
at
just
any
like free
time.
Monkey Dory damage for the game. I think this seems fine. Good
Hmm.
plays,
The
good
only scary
plays.
thing, the only scary thing is if it does get Gus KO'd, like two shot, you need to find that rare candy. The second copy of Curlia is hiding in the discard right now.
It's okay. It always happens. It's Gardevoir.
Yeah, you're
Um,
right.
so Bird Steps, I came late. Why didn't they attack with Corkscrew? That's the question. I feel like the one prize card probably would have been worth it because at this point it's just like ripping into a Gardevoir. It does nothing here, unfortunately.
Oh, and one Guard EX was actually prized, so we got the second one from the prizes here, and yeah, we're just gonna hit this Garchomp for 190 after KOing a Roselia with that extra 90 snipe. If that monkey was KO'd, Zach, the Roselia would have been safe here.
Yep.
Now, Guardy, I think board state advantage when you got triple monkey here is definitely in your favor. Prize advantage in your favor. This is pretty rough here if you're the Garchomp player. I will say Spiritomb is online here, can hit for 190. That's what the grab is off the Champion's Call. Importantly, Spiritomb does not hit for weakness. The attack specifies that it does not hit for weakness. If it did, this matchup would be entirely different, but nope, it does not. So only 190. We're not going to see that ×2 dark weakness come into play from the Gardevoir EX.
The other thing too is these games sometimes take a lot of time just due to the high amount of HP. Like you're two-shotting to get up 2 prize cards. There's 17 minutes left on the clock. We're gonna have to figure this out. And Artisan, just more Pokemon that are probably gonna get Monkey Doried off the board. Honestly, I think Gardevoir could probably win this game by Adrenabraining over to the bench and just being like, yep, another single prizer, another single prizer, another single prizer, oh, and another one. I think the path to winning this game is knocking out the active, knocking out the Roselia, and knocking out the Gibble.
Yeah, that sounds pretty good. And if you're the Garchomp player, what do you try to do to stop this? This just seems like you're in pretty bad position. What can he do to turn this around? Boss's orders on a Mew
I mean, that's
EX?
2 prize cards. I don't think it gets us all the way there. But we'll see how it goes, I guess. I mean, it takes away the damage counters that we would have put on the Gardevoir, and it does draw 2 prize cards. We're gonna go through resistance if we go for the Buster. Definitely not the turn to pass. I don't think we're gonna see a pass here.
Yeah. Ace Spec getting played. The secret box. Do you think it would have been better to just KO a Monkey Dory instead? That just seems like low value. We see the Gardevoir's hand, able to reestablish a Monkey Dory. I think it's a tough position. Maybe KOing this Mew was probably the best play that the Garchomp has here.
When in
It's
doubt,
just
just
what do
trying
we
to
do
gobble up
after?
some prize cards. That's all it is. I think they're just going straight prize cards at this point.
Messagoza, I haven't seen that one in a minute. Hits the heads, able to search for any Pokemon. We're just thinning out the deck here.
Yeah, I guess Messagos is probably good to get your Gibble into a Gabite, so that could be interesting. I mean, it's cool. It's unique. I mean, this is what's cool about Late Night is I don't think we've ever seen a Garchomp Messagosa deck. And this might be the player's first time on stream. Maybe they're a seasoned vet. It's hard to tell. But if anyone's trying to kind of get their start, their turn in the spotlights, some of these online grassroots tournaments are fantastic to play in.
Yeah, especially sometimes, you know, ladder, you don't have the best opponents, or you're fighting a lot of meme decks. I feel like in an online tournament, since the stakes are a little bit higher, people are playing a little bit more seriously. It's really good practice, and it's on it, especially with the structure of Late Night. That's kind of the same structure as a regional. Can be pretty good practice for a regional.
And the same thing too is like maybe like I've seen players of all ages, financial backgrounds. I didn't come from a lot growing up. It's one of those things where if I had the opportunity to play in late nights on a Wednesday, I probably would. It was tough to find the change to take the bus to go to league. So I do think it's a cool opportunity for a lot of players. And it gives you kind of a decent high stakes tournament in the middle of the week. I know that on Mondays now it looks like they're running the Smart Series, which is a cool free to enter cash tournament. We have Late Night in the middle of the week, and we have the Tournament of Doom on the Fridays. My apologies if I miss anything out there, but seems like the week's pretty well sandwiched.
Yeah, good competition all week. It's also, as a spectator and someone that's a follower of the game, it's really important to keep track of these online tournaments, because sometimes you'll see a list or you'll see something and you'll be like, oh, that's pretty interesting. It's good to know that people are starting to run stuff like, you know, maybe this Messagoza Garchomp gets more popular, so the next time you fight it, you're not going to be as surprised.
Yeah, completely valid there. Especially with the
like
Iron Thorns Crustles too. I feel like that deck's popped off online, and some people are like, I don't even think I own Crustle in real life. Like, it's one of those things where, like, it helps me keep my buy list on top, helps me keep up with the metagame. So,
yeah,
I love it.
One example that came to mind was Roaring Moon to Dunsparce. That was like a deck that basically like spawned online, didn't really exist beforehand, and then all of a sudden people started winning online tournaments with it, and then all of a sudden I think it got top 8 at an IC or a top 8 at a regional right after its kind of discovery in the online scene. So just stuff like that is always fun to see.
100%. I mean, if I didn't see that deck online, I wouldn't have won a cup with it. And that got me.
There you go.
I mean, you can always take the knowledge and apply it to something else. I think we're going to see Gardevoir straight up cook this Garchomp. And
yeah, this is looking real rough.
We're seeing those last few prize cards go out there, and I think it's good Screamtail bait as well. Like, get one with the Monkey Dories, get one with the Screamtail. And it seems like Guardy's just set up for success this game.
Yeah, I like that. The split of 10, that's something that we don't see a lot of players do when they pick up Gardevoir. Monkey Dory does read up to 3 damage counters that you can move. So just moving that 10 sometimes is better than moving that 3, because you get to spread it, especially once you got the triple monkeys. You got a Brains to go around. Messagoza Tails. I want to see Leon make this comeback, but it's looking pretty rough.
Yeah, the 4 prize cards there. It doesn't seem like much in other games, but we're not going to be able to knock out this Gardevoir EX this turn. Spiritomb could come into play. That would probably be like the only way, but I think Spiritomb, if anything, would just be the catalyst to losing here.
I mean, Spiritomb only does 20 damage this turn, so it's definitely not this turn. So you gotta you gotta wait one more turn. Sharkbait here can play around play around the Spiritomb by not leaving damage counters. Yeah, it's tough. We're taking out one of the Monkey Dories, but again, we had to discard 2 energies just for a single prize card. And looking at Sharkbait's hand, this Monkey Dory is most likely just going to come right back. The Dark Energy in hand, the Ultra Ball in hand. The writing's on the wall.
Yeah, because we can get the double Monkey Dory knockout. If there's a Scream, it's going to be tough because the amount of energies that we have in play. I'm not sure how many Psychics are in the discard pile. But if we're able to go 30-30 Gibble, it's just a waiting game to see what's going to go on so that you can hit 120 onto that Cynthia's Garchomp, or not Garchomp, Roserade.
Roserade? Yeah. It's I think right now the only thing stopping us from winning the game are those stuck energies, like you said. Messagoza, Screamtail, or Monkey Dory. The answer is Monkey Dory.
Yeah, we definitely need to take out that we definitely need to take out the Gibble before it can evolve, and at that point then it just becomes pretty easy buckets here to knock out that Roserade. I mean, do they play Professor Churro in their list?
The Garchomp player does not. Or
So
did you mean the Gardevoir player?
The Garchomp player. It's stuck.
Yeah. It is stuck.
I mean, I guess attacking into the Garchomp's cool too, but I don't know. Maybe it's better to keep the prizes off board for the purposes of
I don't think we had enough damage counters on the Gardevoir's side to be able to KO the Gibble, because we only had 2.
Oh, that's fair. Energies. It's only 40. You're right.
Yeah, yeah. I get it. It is late at night. The math isn't always the strongest at 11:36 p.m.
That is very true. The one math that I will say is from Burb Stuffs. Couldn't they have knocked out Monkey with Corkscrew Dive? Not because of resistance, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, because I think there was only one Roserade in play. Roserade basically cancels out the resistance, and then Corkscrew Dive only doing 100 damage.
Oh, we're gonna see a massive Cynthia here. Spiritomb, because no, it's not affected by weakness.
Yeah, the Raging Curse doesn't actually hit weakness.
So 20, so only 220, 250, 260.
They can 290 with the Roserade. We're barely short of the KO with the Spiritomb here. That could have been kind of big, I won't even lie, if we got this KO here. But just barely short, 290.
And then I think this way they can move the 40 over, right? Because they can get the 2 damage counters, or the 4 damage counters, move it to the thing on the bench and just knock out active.
Yeah, now because all those damage counters were gifted to you by that Spiritomb, there you go. 1 Monkey Dory to the Gibble, 2 Monkey Dory to the Gibble, and then a Miracle Force should close out this game.
Yeah, I guess we also have the 290 on the Gardevoir. We don't need to worry about Psychic Embrace. We chillin'.
Yep. Taking the prize for the Monkey Dories, and we're most likely just going to see a Miracle Force. Yep, closing out the game. GG's to Leon and Sharkbait. That was a pretty good game. That was a good masterclass of Monkey Dory, man. The power of Monkey Dory, just the ability to use multiple of them to transfer as much damage as you want, nearly.
Yeah, I think in almost every aspect, I thought that the Gardevoir player played pretty well that game. I don't think there was anything that I was like, ugh, that was gross. I feel like a lot of the times I'm just like, I turn on the I'm a seasoned vet for 20 years hat, and I'm like, everyone sucks at Pokemon. That game was like, I was like pleasantly surprised. I think the biggest throw of that game was probably Garchomp just not attacking.
Yeah, that was interesting because, I mean, it was able to get Sharkbait a prize because the Monkey Dory stayed alive. That having that triple monkey was detrimental to these. We saw that end game, just the monkeys coming in super clutch.
For sure, for sure. Yeah, I just put the link there. You could just sign up, play. Should give you information on how to sign up for those events on any of those individual event pages. If you have any questions, be sure to ask in the late night Discord. But they should be pretty cool. Now, we just have a couple of games left I think we could probably go back to the booth.
Sure.
So I'll meet you over in our little casting booth section, and then we can kind of actually, you want to know what? Let's switch it over and look at over the event standings that we have going on. I think we probably can go over that, see what's cooking up there.
Sure. The top tables are, we currently have no undefeated players. We had Regidrago is tough on the Zardpult as our only undefeated, but he just lost to Gholdengo Dragapult. Just pretty tough matchup if you don't have the Chi-Yu. Just no way of consistently KOing and Gholdengo in the early game. And looking at this Gholdengo list, actually pretty interesting. Plays one of Brock's Scouting just to get going under item lock. It's pretty strong. Seems pretty good. And clearly, it's working out.
I don't hate that. And there's the picnic baskets. It's I mean, it's the summer, so we're bringing the picnic out.
It's pretty. Picnic basket's a pretty funny card because it's like, you look at it and you're like, oh, really? We're teching for like niche stuff. When you think about it, like, it's good into the big three: Gardevoir, Grimmsnarl, and Dragapult. Then it starts seeming like a decent tech.
What else do we have going on over here?
Thorn's Crustle, unfortunately hitting into another Gardevoir player. So that's an unfortunate matchup.
Yeah, let's look at their matchups here. So they lose against Charizard, and I'm not sure how.
Might have just been a brick, only able to get out one Pokemon or something.
They go on the generational run of just like, oh, they beat a Gardevoir in the midday. It's not impossible, y'all.
It's really, I mean, I guess you could just go Thorns mode, and I mean, Gardevoirs aren't playing Fluttermane or Klefki anymore.
Yeah, I mean, like, Thorns Crustle, kind of a good deck. Like, I think that if you play Thorns Crustle to enough League Cups, you'll probably walk away with a dub.
I can see it. Yeah.
Like, it's just like, yeah, hit no Gardevoir today. Right? Like, I think it's chilling.
Maybe you can cheese out a win. No Psychic Embrace as Gardevoir seems pretty tough to deal with, right?
Yep. And we do see that there's two of the... What about Marco Garcia?
I am not seeing him.
21-7-7-2. They lost to a Grimmy. They lost to a straight Dragapults. Had another good run throughout the rest. Some interesting decks out here.
Oh, I see, yeah.
And then, yeah, we cut off at the 6-1-1. So, bunch of 6-3s. That's cool.
And but our Grimmsnarl players, seem to have fallen by the wayside. I think do we only have one remaining? Or am I seeing that wrong?
If we go into our metagame at Phase 2 Swiss, we got 4.
Oh, we got 4.
They all lost.
Oh no, that's why I couldn't see them at the top. Yeah, Grimmsnarl with a fat 0% win rate for this round. Charizard Pidgeot again, the most common deck in Phase 2, which is not what I expected, tied with Raging Bolt. Raging Bolt is something that we're used to seeing high percentage played. It was the most played deck at NAIC. But Charizard didn't even make the graphic, and now most played deck with that 50% win rate.
Yep. Now let's kind of flip it over. Which decks have 100%? Gardevoir doing well. Dango doing really well. Dragapult, Dusknoir. Then there's a regular Frostlass Monkey-Dory. I wonder if they
Regular Frostlass Monkey-Dory is a deck that I think people kind of forgot about it, and it went a little bit under the radar ever since Grimmsnarl came out, but I still feel like it's really strong because there are a lot of matchups when you're playing that Grimmsnarl that you kind of just wish you were playing a little bit more of the Frostlass package, mainly like Gholdengo, Raging Bolt, and in those matchups, I mean, having just a straight Frostlass deck is just much better with triple Badoo. Wait, he includes Grabber in his list. I love that.
Yep, your opponent reveals their hand, put a Pokemon you find there at the bottom of their deck, so anything that could just like mess up what they're going for. Grabber plus Badoo kind of is nasty.
I mean, imagine this, right? You're against a Raging Bolt. They go Fan Call for Hoot 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 Noctowl, and you just go cool. Put that Noctowl to the bottom of the deck. You have no items. Good luck.
Yup. That's so spooky. We're gonna see. It looks like we have a few more players here, by the way, that we have a few more players that have joined. So I don't know if you want to pick over a game as we enter into the next round. It looks like the next round's up. Is there anything here that matches?
I don't know if any names match. Wait, I think Match VC6 is a Raging Bolt player. Raging Bolt could be interesting to watch.
We can also see from the maybe the username of Match VC number 3 because they're streaming.
Let me see.
We're just trying to pick the next game, y'all. See exactly what's going on.
Yeah, we can hop down the line. Let's go to Match VC3.
Match VC3. Okay, cool. Let's jump into there. So we'll be going for round number, I guess, 10.
Yep.
Okay, looks like we have a game. They're playing against Leafeon 13. Okay, so this is the 8-1 tables. So it's
13.
Gardevoir. It's table 1 in the tournament. So we have Gardevoir versus Dragapult Charizard. This probably is going to be a matchup that, like, as League Cups come up, we're probably going to get used to.
Mm-hmm. It's a very interesting matchup, I find. You would think it would be more Zardpult favored than it actually is. I think it gets pretty interesting with the late game, especially if Gardevoir is able to get set up quickly, kind of Scream Tail, get rid of those Charmanders early. It can be a really interesting matchup, so I'm excited to see what's going to happen. We do see Zardpult going second here.
Not the greatest hand for a Zardpult.
Yeah, I've seen better starts. Are we seeing a rough start from Leafeon? It looks like we might.
Yeah, just a dark
Having
energy.
to Ultra Ball away. Oh. 2 Psychics in the discard is pretty good. Pretty good way to start. Yeah, this is kind of looking like an attach Iono. At least if the Iono wasn't there in this hand would be pretty bad. Looking at the list too, Leafeon 13 playing a similar list to what we just saw with that 4 Monkeydories, 4 Dark Energies. Nobody Poffin found off the Iono again. Ultra Ball. Yeah, debating playing it. What are these discards? No real easy choice. You definitely want to keep the Arven for next turn. Boss's Order is such a valuable card in this matchup. Do you get rid of energies? Do you get rid of candies? Looks like the choice is Boss's Orders and Luminous. Definitely doesn't feel good to be going for. Gonna take a little bit of a prize check. Hovering over the Badoo is a grab. I like that because you know that you're going to be a little bit slow this game, so you definitely want to slow down your opponent. Don't want to get run over here. Itchy Pollen can really hurt Gardevoir, especially if it has trouble getting Psychic Energies in the discard. You're turning off those Earthen Vessels, you're turning off Secret Box, you're turning off Ultra Ball, all those powerful items that get those energies discarded.
Yeah, and we're gonna see. I mean, maybe we're just gonna see 10 damage goes to Dreepy, Mind Bends. That's it. Oh, there's a research and there's a mystery card there. Don't know what card that was. Shout out PTCG Live.
We do see a Super Rod go down though, which is never a good feeling when you're researching, especially with that 1-of copy of Super Rod. Mind Bend. And with this 3-card hand, we know... Oh, Badoo hanging on to dear life. Badoo does not want to get discarded here. Uh-oh.
Oh, maybe their opponent didn't draw the prize card.
Maybe?
We might be watching a PTCG Live glitch live, y'all.
This is not the moment for this to happen.
If anyone remembers the team challenge, I remember I had our whole team had issues with PTCG Live 1 round.
Oh wait. This is why is this the Dragapult player's timer going down?
This is this is
No.
This is kind of like when you're watching someone drive and you're trying to watch like the squirrel or something cross the road, and you're like, please don't hit the squirrel, and they hit the squirrel, and it's just like everyone's just watching. This is just bad.
Yeah. Weirdly enough, the timer on the Gardevoir player's side is going down on the right.
Yeah, I'm so confused.
Yeah, I think
who's winning this? Like...
I think Leafeon, I think Leafeon's got it, because I think this is the Dragapult player's screen frozen here. Funny enough, Leafeon is sharing his screen as well, and just hovering over it on Discord. On their screen, the Badoo is KO'd, and it's their turn. So I think on their screen, they just won the game.
Yeah, the unfortunate thing about PTCG Live is we can't do anything about the glitched player. We'll try to jump into another game here. 1 second.
Looks like this is a Raging Bolt mirror.
Yep, and we have some This is some... I don't know if it's just me. Is this like a pretty low qual game?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
But I am just... Let's take a minute to analyze this board here. There's a Picnic Basket being played, a Charmed Slitherwing. We hit into the Charmed Slitherwing for 180, barely not the KO. Picnic Basket healing the Slitherwing, so the board definitely looks stronger.
The board definitely looks like it's like taken on a iPhone 3.
That is true.
I'm also like, I feel like I'm watching Burnin on the left. Is it just me, or can you see like faint prize cards?
I see. Look at the Burnin on the right. You can see the end turn button.
Like
you can see the end turn button when it isn't his turn.
This is it's been a very interesting late night. I do want to answer the chat though. Will they rematch if it's glitched? So Justin, first and foremost, thank you so much for supporting the stream tonight with the super chat on YouTube. Big ups. All that stuff does help contribute to making late night run smooth, and we totally appreciate that. In terms of the tournament, unfortunately, we cannot do anything if it glitches, right? Because like, let's say if someone gets a bad hand and they're like, yeah, my game glitched. It's a really easy cop-out, and as much as we've watched it happen live, it's not really fair to our opponent. So it's not like it's a real game of Pokemon where we can kind of adjust to see where the mistake happened and offer some kind of penalty. It's just really unfortunate. I'm literally seeing the fighting energy underneath the Iron Leaves as a burn-in. This is like... And I don't know if we're watching anything. It looks like it froze. I mean, I appreciate y'all streaming. I hope they hope that I'm not just like... I've never seen this kind of visuals on PTCG Live.
Yeah, this is definitely an interesting bug to say the least. At least, it's a visual bug on our end, on Discord's end. I don't think it's a problem with PTCG Live.
I don't know. They're like, could you imagine if the person's like, literally, we're just trying to help out the stream. I'm streaming off an iPod Nano. I'm like PTCG Live side loaded on my iPod Touch from 2007. I mean, I think Raging Bolt just be doing Raging Bolt things.
Raging Bolt whiffs. Oh no, Raging Bolt does not whiff. There is a Knock Towel in hand. Wow,
Yeah,
that was actually a really good turn. The Jamming Tower to KO the Slither, putting the Knock Towel on the discard, allowing us to get that Knock Towel with the stretcher, reuse it.
it does suck for the player that glitched. I will have to give you that. It happens. We do hate to see it. Sometimes these tournaments are unforgiving, right? It's the same way if we watched on the official stream if someone shuffled their hand into their deck. There are things that are out of our control. And I think that's like, it sucks. Because that's PTCG Live. I wish that it was just a better app overall. I used to like kind of stand beside it. I think it's better across the board. But there have been countless opportunities where it's just like, I don't know. It needs better slow play support than just 30 seconds, right? Like people can do a lot of things with this app, so it doesn't 100% mimic the real game of Pokemon.
Yeah, I was playing earlier today, and I used Professor Seda and just drew 2 cards instead of 3. A lot of random bugs like that happens, unfortunately, and there's not much that we can do.
The one that drives me the most crazy is when you play like a Buddy Poppin and allows you to select some Pokemon, but it doesn't let you to select the other 70 HP Pokemon. And I'm like, cool, I guess I'm just not getting 2 Pokemon today. And
guess I'm not getting my Ralts. Not like I need those anyways.
Yep, and then sometimes you don't have another card that allows you to go back in. So it's all we got. It's all right.
It puts the fries in the bag.
Yep.
Sometimes it forgets the fries, but it does put the fries in the bag.
Yeah, it's kind of like the worst McDonald's you have in your cities. It's still gonna hit it. It's still gonna hit sometimes, right? Like,
it's still gonna hit, just like this Raging Bolt taking that final KO.
That's crazy.
The burn-in is crazy.
Let's check. Right back over here. How much time is left in the round? We still have 17 minutes left in the round. Maybe we'll try to jump into another game.
Yeah, I think we see a Crustle in the next match if you want to hop down the line.
Yeah, let's jump in there. We'll jump into another game. I thought we had like 5 minutes left. We're gonna just watch 3 games this round.
Let's go. Time to jump into.
It's just one Crustle. Crustle's literally has its hand over its head. It's like, we pray. Oh no, the Dracloak getting attacked.
No, I think that was the only answer.
We have Caesar
we saw
in the chat. What's up, our locals goats?
I am worried for this Gholdengo player. The prizes cards are even. It looks like this hand is pretty good, but Crustle's ability is just... If you don't know what it is, because Crustle's not that common of a Pokemon, it has that same ability as Mimikyu, that safeguard that says cannot be damaged by Pokemon EX. And if you know how to play, if you know a thing or two about Gholdengo, it's that its main attacker is Gholdengo EX.
And there's no way, there's no like canceling Cologne or nothing in this format that we had in previous formats. So I'm looking here. Oh, looks like they're getting back another Dracloak, but we are running so low on resources here. It is wild.
Running low on resources. It takes 2 turns to attach to this thing. There's no Crispin in this list. No sort of energy acceleration. So you're really just praying here that this Crustle player doesn't have boss. And even if you do attack into this Crustle with the Dracloak, he can just KO you back. And you just don't have that many Dracloak attacks.
What is Crustle doing for damage here?
120. 120 shred.
Big, okay. And I guess we're going in with the dweebles. Is this Pokemon a crab? Is that what we'd say?
It's a little hermit crab.
Okay. This
hitting for 90 because of that resistance.
This has to hurt as the Dango player.
I'm not sure, honestly, why Marco went for these extra dwebbles. This kind of gives an opportunity for the Gholdengo player to take some KOs, take some extra prizes. I don't think there was another way. I guess maybe with Monkey Dory eventually we can get there and we need more dwebbles. I'm not sure.
Maybe. I mean, yeah, if anything, I think you just go straight Crustle. I mean, I guess if they have the Monkey Dory, then you could potentially use. Oh, I was gonna say, the Miss Energy is gonna stop the Monkey Dory from being able to go Mind Bend, right?
It does, yeah. The damage will still apply, but the confusion
But
will
not the
not.
confusion. So it's just, I don't know. This feels so awkward. And I guess we're gonna make it rain, take that prize card. I think if anything, we should have tried to go for a tie, leaving the Dwebble up in the active spot, and then just like be like, okay, the one without the energies, let's see how it goes. Because I feel like we're not getting there traditionally, right? Like maybe.
Yeah, but
Ah,
with 14 minutes left, I feel like going for a tie is a little bit asking for
I mean, I think also trying to go through Crustle sounds like a lot. I'm not gonna lie. we'll,
that you're not
we'll see.
wrong.
I mean, it's just a tough matchup. We'll see how it goes. I'm gonna run to the restroom quick. Probably got myself a drink, so I'll pass the wheel. Feel free to
Yeah.
continue to commentate this very exciting game of Pokemon.
I'll hold down the fort, but could we just talk about how stressed this Crustle looks? Like his hands over his head, just freaking out, staring at this Gholdengo. You're not the one who has to stress. I think the Gholdengo's player is the one stressing here. We do have the jamming tower. Let me open up the list, see if there's some sort of sauce that I'm missing. The jamming tower will help a little bit turning off that Lux Cape, but again, I just don't think that's enough. Only one copy of the Monkey Dory. Not even playing that Dragapult EX for the spread. Not that the spread would matter because we have that mist energy. Yeah, this is just about over, I think. It's just a matter of time before the Crustle just keeps attacking. Got research. Thorns hit in the discard. Second Crustle now, so even if we get through the first somehow, some way, we've got a second one. Slowly chipping at us. 60 damage every turn, basically, when you consider the Monkey Dories transferring and healing away. Do see here. Wait, are we gonna see it? We do see a KO, actually. No, not quite. Because Dragon Headbutt, 70 damage. It's gonna. We do actually do. We do. Because of the Monkey Dory. So we're gonna see a KO
Oh, I'm
on the
back.
first Crustle. So it was correct for Marco to go for the second Dwebble. I was mistaken. Um,
Wait, does
but
this
I mean,
work?
you go through. It does, but the second Crustle, I don't know how you get through it.
Okay.
So he did three Adrenabrains plus a Dragon Headbutt. Does find yourself one prize card onto this Crustle, but the second Crustle's gonna just come in, superb scissors, cut up that Dracloak, and do we have enough recovery cards to set it up again? Not only do you have to set up the Dreepy, the Dracloak, you also have to find your Fire, find your Psychic. Crustle just needs to find one boss's orders to stop that plan.
Oh yeah. I mean, I guess we'll find out. Mm, 11
Researching, we're thinning
cards.
the deck. We're just trying to make sure that if we need boss, we're gonna find that boss. I wonder, I'll be honest, I have not looked at a Thorns Crustle list yet. I don't know how many Gus they play.
I'm not gonna lie, I also have not looked at it. We have not done our
Looks like
homework
the
at the
answer
late
is
night here.
4. The answer is 4. That is a lot of Gust. seeing Iono get played, the hands are going to get reduced, so the chance of this boss's order is much, much lower on the side of Marco. But still, this is not a great position to be in. I will say, for as tough as this matchup seems, Gholdengo here has been putting up a good fight.
About as much of a fight as they possibly can, right?
Yeah, exactly. It's not much, but it's honest work, you know?
And the 90, then the 30 gets moved over. It might actually get there. Like, you can attack with the Monkey Dory, right?
Eventually, yeah. Because we know the Psychic's in the discard because the Dragon Headbutt, right? We could stall here as well, switch into another Gholdengo to buy us some time.
If there's not a knockout on that Monkey Dory, that is game over, I think.
I definitely want to see a retreat into another Gholdengo. We don't see it.
No,
though.
because they want to see the... Oh, because of the damage.
Because you want to...
No!
Yeah, you want to keep the damage, and then this just allows Marco to win in 2 attacks, right? Because he takes the 2 prizes on this Gholdengo, and then he wins with a Gust onto the Monkey Dory. I really would have liked to see either a manual retreat or a switch.
It's okay.
We see the boss on the... Yeah, the monkey gets KO'd. Do we have enough recovery cards to get it back?
We're asking the real questions here.
Because if we can get it back, I think it's doable. No, I don't want to see this Gholdengo in the active.
Not the one with
There's
2
the
prize
dark
cards.
Do we have a stretcher? We have a stretcher.
But like...
And then we have an SER for the Psychic for the Mind Bend.
Is there a Psychic in the discard pile though?
Yeah, there is, because he attacked with Dragon Headbutt, so there has to be one.
Okay. 90 to the active, 180. Retreat.
Wait, but does it KO? It doesn't KO because of the resist. Or no, it does.
It does not.
No!
I don't.
Why didn't we see the retreat? Is there something we're missing?
It's the Crustle Prayer's like, what?
Did he not realize that there was 2 prizes left?
Sometimes you get so involved in your own win con, and they were playing around that we ended up seeing them lose over it.
Because I think the Gholdengo had it there. Unless the Crustle had boss, then it didn't matter.
Yeah, I feel like that was a wild game. Oh,
that was way more interesting than than I gave it credit for, I'll be honest.
I feel ya. Let's catch up in the casting booth. Let's talk about some of those things that happened in this round.
Let's do it. This is almost getting bested by Gholdengo to glitches, to glitched looking screens.
To the craziest throw of the night. They're gonna watch back the stream and they're gonna be like, "There's no way I did that." Like
I'm trying to think. Did we miss something? Because you have the retreat off, the manual retreat, and then you have the switch back in with the item switch.
No, you just retreat. You just retreat.
Yeah, exactly. And then you could use the switch to get back into the Monkey Dory for the next turn.
They just could have done it the turn before too. It would have been better, like you said, to get that extra 90, right? So like, I feel like they were halfway there. Like their brain was working in the right direction. Then they're just like, it's late night. I mean, to be fair, right? They could be European. It's midnight for us. We're actually both located in the Montreal area, so shout out Montreal. Yep. And but you'd be playing from anywhere, right? Like maybe they're from Dubai and the time zone, and they're like, I stayed up all night and I'm cooked at 6 a.m. Like
I just checked, they're from Hungary. Let me do a quick Google search. Hungary time. It's currently 6 a.m.
Yeah.
So they've been playing. This has been going on for like. When did it start? 5 hours ago? They've been playing since 1 a.m. We should cut them some slack.
Yeah, exactly.
And also,
6 a.m. gameplay, they're doing pretty good.
I also have to assume that this is the first time they've played against a Thorns Crustle. If it's not the first, it's definitely not more than like 2 or 3 times that they've played this matchup, right?
Oh yeah, I do want to say a shout out to everyone in the chat. I have an ice cream cone. It's
I'm
summer.
jealous.
I mean, you could
It's
come over.
really hot in my room.
It's hot
I
in your
could, but
room. You don't
not
have
at midnight.
AC?
I have the door closed. I just have my fan on right now.
Oh, I feel that. I also have, well, I turned my fan off because it was like getting too cold, but then it's going to get too hot. It's not one of those days where the temperature is just right.
Yeah. It's just been humid too where we're at, honestly.
Yeah, it's been tough. I tried to take the dog for a walk and I was like, it's all good. The dog was even like, yeah, we're not feeling this. Hopefully everyone else is having a exactly poor Willow. Hopefully everyone's having a good summer. Better than the Dango versus Crustle matchup that we saw. Sorry, I'm gonna definitely beat a dead Dango over a Crustle there. I guess we're gonna see like if anyone in the chat has any players that they want to kind of look out on. We're like one match away from like kind of going to the last round of Swiss before top cuts. Anyone that we want to kind of showcase, any game, any kind of deck, we can kind of try to do our best because late night we're in charge. We're gonna see exactly what's cooking.
There is someone streaming some Joltik box that we haven't seen yet. With a spicy energy switch in the list. That is sneaky.
I think I'd like that better in a closed list tournament, like a League Cup or a League Challenge. For late night, lists are out in the open, so we can see exactly like that's the list. You can have that. They know about the energy switch if they decide to look.
Yeah, but it's definitely pretty interesting because I think a lot of players will play around the fact that Joltik cannot charge things up in one turn often. So often it can be quite predictable to see, oh, they put all the energies on the hands, they can't attack with Pikachu, but all of a sudden you E-switch, you got the Crispin involved, and you can attack with anything whenever you want. So that's pretty interesting. I feel like it's I could see the value in the energy switch in that list.
Yep, and I'm a Joltik Box fan, so I'd like to see some Joltik Box action. I mean, at least Jolting Charge, power things up, Iron Hands. That's it.
It's a very cool, colorful deck as well. I like playing it in real life too, with all the bright hollow energies and everything. I think we just started another round, right?
Okay, yeah, we just started round 11, so this is the last round before Top Cut. Those with 27 or more match points will be locked in for cut.
Yeah,
very interesting to see. I just want to kind of switch over to standings here quick, just so we can see who is rocking top cuts.
Right now we have 2 players guaranteed, Unknown Gamer and Kikurda, the Gardevoir and a Charizard Pidgeot. So
we're going to see
the deck of the night.
So are we going to have an even cuts? So let's say we have 3rd player, 4th player, 5th player, 6th player, 7th player. Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we have up to 7 people that can get 27, but it is a top 8 cut otherwise. So it's not going to be asymmetrical. Every player who has 27 or more match points will lock in their spot in the top cuts. Everyone else under that is going to be just playing for that top cut spot, kind of like a League Cup would be.
And we see our table 1 opting to ID.
That makes a lot of sense. It should also note too that X2-1, if everyone naturally wins and there's no ties, it looks like X2-1 will probably make top cut, if not bubble. X3 probably not making top cut tonight.
We see our Thorns Crustle, Marco Garcia that we just saw on the stream against a Raging Bolt. We have Dragapult versus Gholdengo. It's a pretty good matchup. Sharkbait, Grimmsnarl versus Guardy. We got some good matchups here.
Which one do you want to kind of go with? I know we haven't seen Grimmsnarl yet, right?
We have not. I'm down to see the Grimmsnarl. They're on. They are on Winning In.
Okay, let's go check that out.
Sure.
You're back.
Guardy versus Grimmsnarl. This is an interesting matchup. Notably, kind of Grimmsnarl is the deck that was supposed to scare away Gardevoir, kind of stop its reign, but not quite able to do so, although the matchup is definitely Grimmsnarl favored.
Yeah, Dark type's naturally going to have a bit of an advantage there, making it kind of interesting when it comes down to this matchup. We'll see. I mean, starting with Shaman, Shaman can be good for the Screamtail, but might not necessarily be your favorite starter.
Yeah, definitely not your favorite starter, but it is good to at least have it down somewhat early. Especially when you do want it down when or if and when your Grimmsnarl gets mind bended. Because you definitely don't want just a confused Grimmsnarl sitting in the active while your opponent's Screamtail is just sniping away at your bench. But turn one, Shaman, obviously going to get a lot less value.
I mean, do you see that routes come down? So it does lead the possibility for Gardevoir to become a Gardevoir. Like, you can go routes for a candy Gardevoir. If we didn't have routes, wouldn't be an option. So that's kind of like, we saw every checkbox off of the Gardevoir's turn. Not the greatest turn of all time, but it was more than acceptable.
We got Monkey Dark down and a Ralts, so can't complain. Could be better, but could be a lot worse for sure. On the side of the Grimmsnarl, we see two Impidimps come down. Are we going to see a Team Evo in the secret box, the turn one Ace Spec? This most definitely means we're going to see a Team Evo opting to discard the Frostlass, maybe just not going for any Frostlass in this matchup. It's very interesting. I think depending on the Gardevoir list, you may or may not want to put Frostlass into play in this matchup. I think since this is an open deck list tournament, we know that Sharkbait is on that 4 monkey 4 dark, so I definitely don't think putting Frostlass in play is a good idea. Oh, we do see the Snorunt come down though, so maybe I am incorrect.
I mean, we'll see. Maybe they have a strategy that we haven't seen. I'm down to watch, because at the end of the day, I'm not the player in the driver's seat, so it's exciting for me to watch.
Oh, of course. And this is a matchup that if you are going to Worlds or you're excited to watch Worlds, it's a matchup that 1000% we are going to see multiple times on stream, if not at least once. Because these are looking to be like the two decks to beat right now. This was the first and second most popular deck, right? Grimmsnarl being the first, Guardy being the second.
Yep. And if you're looking for other decks that might be popular, Dragapult, Raging Bolt, maybe Dango up there. That's pretty much the metagame in a nutshell.
Yeah. Monkey Dory is in almost every deck that you named, in every deck besides Raging Bolt. So that's the card to look out for. If you don't own
we'll
Monkey
see it
Dory,
soon enough.
you're
We'll
trying to
see.
build a deck,
They'll just be like, we're gonna throw in Monkey Dory anyways. Screw it.
Luminous and Raging Bolt. Let's go.
I mean, it would not be that surprising at this point. So pretty good turn there, being able to use the Technical Machine Evolution. That is a Pokemon tool through Badoo's Itchy Pollen. We got Gardevoir set up. Now, we got to watch out for that Gardevoir, because I don't know how many Psychic Energies are in the discard pile, but we'll have to see, like, how it plays out. If we see a boss here, that'd be disgusting.
What do you think about not using the restart there? Seems like it could be pretty good value. Oh, we do see the boss's orders. Now I wonder if benching this Mew and using the restart could have been pretty good. You do have to assume that your Mew is relatively safe, because if the boss's orders is going to come down, it's most likely going to come down on that Guardy EX.
Yeah, you're going
Could
after
have seen
Guardy
2
every
additional
time.
cards. So we could have seen 3 additional cards here, but maybe there's another reason. Doesn't want it to potentially take some Frostlass ticks. And now this went from a beautiful board to a really shaky one. We are going to see most likely a Mind Bend on the Grimmsnarl, but the Morgrim in the back is just ready to pounce. It's just able to turn into a Grimmsnarl, and what's amazing about that play is that you get to accelerate your energy, 2 extra energies onto the active Grimmsnarl just to retreat it for free, essentially.
Yeah. That was oof. That's an oof. Rare Candy Guardy?
Oh,
Can we
wait, do we
wait
get
wait 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 wait
there?
wait. I don't think you do. You can.
But you can with the prize card, right? Because you Ultra Ball away whatever you take off the prizes and the tool or the Iono here, the tool that you grab off the Arvin, as long as there's an Ultra Ball and a rare and a
But
Guardy EX in
the
the
thing
deck.
is, do you need to? Because we're already getting the attack off with Mind Bend.
Do you want, just because you can doesn't mean you should, is the question. Yeah.
But I think it does set you up for that Iono for next turn. I think you almost have to.
Or you can grab it and just not do it is another option. Because I
But you
think
also gotta watch out for Iono for like your opponent, right? Like getting rare candy, Ultra Ball, like you know what I'm saying? Like we lose all of the pieces. So like if they got another boss, you just scoop it up and be like, it was a cool Wednesday night. I'm happy I made top 16. That's awesome.
Yeah, but if they have a boss, do you lose regardless? Are you just too ahead? Are
I don't
you
want to
just
be
too
like, to be
behind?
real, like I don't want to count anyone out of the game. Do you feel
Yeah.
like it's hard to come back after that rare candy Guardy knockout turn 2? Like it is what it is, right?
The fact that there's also 0 psychics in the discard is what's scaring me. We are going to see the Candy Guardy play, opting to respect the Iono here. Oh, are we? No, whoa, what are we retreating into?
Wait.
Oh, just the other Monkey Dory to preserve the dark energy.
Okay.
Yeah, I got scared for a second.
I was like, don't retreat into anything else. Freeze.
Retreat to Guardy EX pass.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have already used the Adrenaline Brain. No, this is totally correct. We're preserving the dark energy attachment. I like this. We see the Mind Bend. This is definitely your best play. Now, does Rayquaza have a response here? I mean, I feel like it's just so easy. Just a Spike Myth, and as long as you've got dark energies in the deck, and you're cooking.
Yeah.
There's the Arvin for the Ultra Ball if there's not already a Grimmsnarl in hand. Who knows? The second one could be prized. Even then, just a Dark Energy and you retreat the Grimmsnarl. You could attack with Morgrim. We see an Energy Search. Are we going to see the Morgrim attack? Morgrim attack does leave you open to the Morgrim getting KO'd though, which would leave you in a pretty terrible spot with a Grimmsnarl with no energies.
Cool. Awesome.
Yep, double Adrenaline Brain, healing all of that damage off the Monkey Dory. Still confused though. Looks like we're going for the flip. And we get a head.
Yikes. So that's 2 prize cards left. The 2 to 5 prize card comeback. No damage on the Grimmothy Snarl.
You know what? If there's a deck that can make comebacks, it's got to be Gardevoir EX, right?
I mean, especially with Iono being one of the opening cards, it's like the thing that I'm worried about is how do we get into this Grimmsnarl knockout? Like, am I missing something? But is it impossible?
It is currently impossible. You would need Quad Monkey plus the 30 from Confusion Hit plus the Miracle Force. We're only sitting on 1 Monkey and 2 Psychics in the discard. No Drifloon in this list. No real big way to knock it out. And that Shaman, like I mentioned earlier, is really going to put in a lot of work because it's not like we can just keep this Grimmsnarl confused in the active and we can't snipe the bench around it because of that Shaman protecting the bench. So it's pretty tough here. I don't know what you do. Curious to see though. We do have the option to set up a second monkey, but that means that we don't have an attack with Miracle Force. And this is the power of Grimmsnarl, man. It's just such a powerful deck, especially when it gets going and gets the KO on your only Candy Guardy turn 2.
Ugh. It's whatever. It's one of those things where, like, if a deck pops off, it's better to, like, just run hot than to play well. Especially when it comes down to these situations. It's tough. I think, like, weakness is definitely a big factor here. Do they just, like, go for, like, the attack in with, like, the Gardevoir and just hope that confusion isn't real?
I don't see a better line, to be honest. I don't see a better line, and you also just have to pray that no Grimmsnarl, that the 2 cards in hand, that Iono is real, basically. Because if one of those 2 cards is a Grimmsnarl, confusion doesn't matter. You retreat into the fresh Grimmsnarl and you just attack.
And then, yeah, you just rip. But let's say you Iono them into absolutely nothing. There might be a chance.
I mean, Grimmsnarl does have no draw on board, so it is a deck that is susceptible to late game disruption. You know what? Let's see it. We are just going to see the Miracle Force into this thing.
Let's, it's all on Rayquaza 422. Let's watch. They've been running hots all game. They just need to miss one thing, right?
Yep, we're Adrenabraining off of the bench, trying to keep our Snorunt safe. The fact that we're using these Adrenabrains in the first place makes me think we don't immediately have game. Yep, another flip and another heads. Wow, Rayquaza 420.
Confusion is a lie.
Wow.
Do we have another game we could jump into?
I don't believe. Oh no, we do. I think we do.
Okay, let's see what we have going on there. See if we can catch the tail end of this game.
Our friend Marco Garcia on that Crustle that we just saw squeak out a win against Gholdengo. Another matchup that's not, I can't imagine is fantastic for Raging Bolt, but Raging Bolt definitely has a lot more options, a lot more attacking options than that Gholdengo to hit through that Crustle. So it's definitely an interesting one. Curious to see how it finishes up. Prize lead is currently in the Raging Bolt's advantage.
Yep.
Interesting to note that both of these players have not run into this matchup before in today's bracket. So this is the first Raging Bolt that Marco plays and the first Thorns that our Raging Bolt player plays.
All right, so we see the same visual defect here.
Yeah, Xavier saying he got sacked, and yeah, that is unfortunate. Still very, very good run. You should be proud of yourself.
Yeah, you had a really solid run. I think you end up making top 16. There might be a chance at 8-3 if I'm 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It depends on how the ties go in table 6 and 7. And then we can kind of see how things play out. But otherwise, I think it makes top 16. And top 16 out of 300 players, a huge run. Just be proud of what it is. And I mean, we all saw it. Great gameplay from yourself. Confusion isn't real.
And thank you so much for streaming your games as well.
Yeah, 100%.
Was there anything you could have done there? Geez, I don't even know.
I feel like the confusion flip was good. I think, like, you got knocked out. I feel like you retreated to the correct Monkey Dory.
Off the top of my head, I don't think so.
It just seems like your opponent was like, they were destined to win that game.
That's Pokemon cards for you sometimes. That's just how the cookie crumbles. especially when it is a tough matchup, right? Grimmsnarl does have that weakness, does have that spread that Gardevoir doesn't love to see. So honestly, you did great for how tough that matchup is and for how unlucky you seem to have gotten that game.
It happens.
As we see here, Slitherwing, do we take the KO? I can't tell how much damage that is on the Crustle. Looks like it isn't a KO.
Crustle's alive. We can't even tell how much damage is on that thing.
Dude, it looks like it says 250, but it's clearly not 250 or else it would be dead.
Yeah, I can't tell. I really just like the effect. It's just like old school Pokemon. We can't tell. I think it's 230 if I had to guess.
Yeah, I think you're right. My other guess would be 280, but then this Crustle would be cheating.
I mean, Crustle already feels like it's cheating a little bit.
Also, I'm not gonna lie, I think it's better that this Crustle dies to burn. Like, I think it's better that he hit Tails and stayed burn there.
Because of the Lux Cape?
Because of the Lux Cape, exactly. Because Lux Cape does only trigger if you get KO'd from damage from an attack.
Oh,
so
it might not matter here, though, because
Crustle...
there's only a 1 prizer and a 2 prizer.
But true.
I think it doesn't matter no matter which way we cut it up.
Actually, it's pretty terrible if Marco doesn't get another basic, because the Slitherwing can just KO the Thorns on its way back to our Raging Bolt player's turn.
Yeah, we need to see a Dwebble. We need to see a Dwebble. Where's the Dwebbles at?
Oh, we're turtling. There's the Dwebble. Can we go back into an Ascension here? I feel like that would be your best play, right?
Ascension, we up.
Dude, why did they give this thing Ascension?
I was literally on the BC with my buddy Mike, and I was like, why did none of these lists play Ultra Ball? They all sound terrible. And he's like, 30 minutes later, he messaged me, he's like, Dwebble has Ascension, you're so stupid. I'm like, yeah.
What a crazy card. Oh my god, and what a crazy Turo. That was such a good play. And now, like, the Slitherwing can attack, but it's going to KO itself. We see a Prime Catcher back.
No, we're going to see the knockout. We're going to see the knockout with the Bolt, I think.
Onto the Thorns? Yeah, that would make sense.
And Mew also can copy, Mew goes through the attack as well.
Yeah, because Crustle does have Shred. So this matchup actually seems pretty tough for Crustle.
Yeah, Bolt has a lot of options. You wouldn't think of it, because a lot of people are like, ugh, it's just Raging Bolt. But there's some options there.
Yeah, definitely not the Raging Bolt of the past that people are used to.
And this is
debating on playing this Jamming Tower now or holding it potentially for later for a Lux Cape.
This is another winning into top 8 as well. The winner of this game will be 9-2, locked for cut. 9-2 is a steep record. That's a fantastic run on PTCG Live, especially against some of these top talent players.
Top talent players, the variants that you can get in best of 1 scenarios. It's pretty impressive.
Oh yeah.
So we see the Bellowing Thunder here. Gonna KO this Thorns as long as we discard 4 energies.
Okay, cool. Knockout. Now we got to see Crustle do its thing. I feel like Crustle would benefit if we had double turbo energy or something. Does it play like reversal or like?
Plays Crispins.
Crispin, okay.
That's, I think, your main way to charge it up. It's 4 Crispins. But if you're using Crispin, means you're not bossing up that Slitherwing that is your current threat.
I like that Crustle's a 10-cent card.
Yeah, Pokemon's a cheap game. We love to see it.
If I click open on Deck Builder, wonder how much this deck costs. $36.
And half of that is probably Iron Thorns. Well, not half, but
Yeah, what is the most? What's causing this deck to be expensive? Iron Thorns is only a 50-cent card.
your A spec is Poke Vital A, which is probably one of the cheapest A specs. Oh, you know what it is? It's Pokegears. Pokegears are like each
Oh,
like
Arvins.
2 USD.
Arvins are $4 each.
Oh, really? So it's Arvins and Pokegears, I think.
Boss is a $1.50 too. It's a $1.50.
I have way too many bosses orders. I'm rich.
Yeah, Pokegear and Boss are both a $1.50. Earthen Vessel's down to quarters now. I remember when that card was like $4.
Mm.
Buddy Poppins are quarters. Like, this is definitely the type of like deck that like grandma can give you like a $40 gift card at the store, and you're like, thanks so much, grandma, and you could come back with change.
That'd
Might
be
be the
sick.
cheapest best deck. $35 for a deck is not a lot in competitive card games, and it's a real deck. Luboy was one win away from making the cut. Had fun though. Well, we appreciate you for tuning in and playing. That was really cool. Appreciate that.
Oh, we're gonna see the double KO here, or not the double KO, but the self KO.
And then it's just burnt again. Who'd even send
Wait,
up?
why is there?
Because of jamming tower.
No, but why is like why did we attach it?
I think
Because
they
now this
might
means
have,
that there's
maybe they're just trying to thin their hand out for Arvin or for Iono.
because I feel like we definitely want to see a Luxcape on this thing, right?
Yeah.
Or maybe we just forgot about the jamming tower and we were like, oh, let's attach Luxcape next turn. 'Cause it is a
Crustle's the
weird
boy.
interaction. That's not...
We appreciate everyone for playing in the tournament, so we got to feature the people who play. Yeah, I feel like what did Chorus is an interesting card here.
Oh, there you go. We're getting rid of the jamming. And the miss, so no more burn. I don't think... Oh wait, we can attack with Noctowl here for the game. Or more important, or more easily Fan Rotom, but I think Noctowl is funnier. Oh, but we don't have energies!
No!
Wait. Oh no. A
There's
quick
no-
check of the deck. We did see a Night Stretcher. So I think we should be...
The other thing that we gotta watch out for, there's 4 minutes and 40 seconds left.
True.
Oh, this would be crazy tie. Tie might actually not be too bad. It might guarantee both players in cuts, or at least like an opportunity.
We're opting to pass. I think I would have liked to see the bench Fan Rotom and just a Burst Roar to try to aggressively find your Night Stretcher. Just to use that Assault Landing for the final KO that you need.
Yeah,
but
I think that sounds like the play as well.
That does leave you open to boss KO on the Fan Rotom though, but...
I mean, that's fair. But also, like, if you don't do anything, we could see this Raging Bolt getting attacked.
Yeah. And then I
Practice
guess you do lose
Studio.
2 attacks anyways.
So Practice Studio is going to give us an additional... Wait. It does 10 more damage?
Yeah, 10 more damage.
Okay, so we're hitting 13
What numbers
now?
is that fixed? Because I've seen, like, every list I've seen plays this card.
Is it just
so
like they're
it's-
all just like copying?
Maybe, but there has to be a reason, right?
Yeah, I think I need someone to explain this to me. Someone who's better at Pokemon than me, because I don't get it. I also don't know if
I'm
I
trying to
like bringing up the Noctowl here. I mean, I guess Noctowl can attack in a world where you're like worried about stuff.
dude, this guy is living on 10 HP in a dream.
And a TM Evo that's just been chilling there way too long.
There's the Night Stretcher!
No,
But
but
wait, we can't retreat.
he didn't attack it. He's just trying to take the tie.
No, but he doesn't have an energy.
No, but you got the
I
Night
think the
Stretcher.
No. The Crustle was missing an energy to attack, and now the
Yeah,
Raging Bolt is missing an energy to retreat.
this is a very interesting game of Pokemon. This might actually be a tie.
We draw into a Noctowl. That's not going to help us. Restart's going to see us 2 more cards.
Wait,
Iron Leaves gets us the switch, but that's not enough. If we use the Night Stretcher to attach to the Fan Rotom, we did have it though.
yeah. Well, I guess
'Cause
we're
we
just
could've-
gonna have to see that next turn now.
Are we benching the Leaves now to get it out of the active? We could maybe go-
No. They're definitely. I feel like they got the big boss energy. They're gonna knock out. You gotta be. No.
Okay, we're seeing the Rapid Vernier. Honestly, for how... Oh wait, we have the yeah, I forgot that we can retreat with Latias here. So we can go into a Burst Roar. I don't despise this. And we have a Turo, 2 Hootoots,
There's
still
also a
not that Night
Turo.
Stretcher.
So if we
But
bring up
Night
the
Stretcher's the
Noctowl,
important part here.
there's also 1 minute left.
Oh my lord.
This is a wild game.
For how lame of a deck Crustle might seem, it is made for the best games.
And you can tell the Crustle player, like, no one's like, there's just no slow play going on. This is just a long game.
Yeah.
They're definitely trying to go, at this point, I think they have to realize that they can't win in time. And they have to just go for the tie. 42 seconds left.
Luboy just came in with the info we were looking for. Baby Bolt, Roserade, and a few other 130 HP Mons is the reason for the practice studio.
Okay. 130's got some things. Oh, and I guess they're just like single prize card Pokemon, so you want to knock out those Mons
exactly.
when you can.
So it's important, right? Because I feel like for a card like this, a 1-shot compared to a 2-shot is very, very important, right?
Yeah, because I guess a Baby Raging Bolt's just going to 2-shot you back, so if you don't have options, it's just tough. Okay, so we're going to see a Thorns there. Interesting, and we see that there was no energies. So Thorns might be okay. We see the Iono, and that is officially time. So...
Dang.
Just gonna let them know that is time and a tie.
Dang. That was an interesting one, though. I would have loved to see how that went.
And I'm just gonna say, unless I missed anything, I just don't want to, like, 100%.
But I believe that is correct. Unless this has just been a friendly.
And I'm saying you could exit
I don't know if
the game.
I'm not sure they realize that they might just be locked in.
I know Marco, I think they were just waiting to figure out exactly what was going on there.
Okay.
So that puts us, I'm just gonna let... So we have our standings. I think that's probably the part that I want to look at now that we have standings here. Let's see what we have cooking here. Who made top cut? What decks do we have to expect? And then we can kind of go into some of that gameplay.
Sure.
So if we look here, We have Marco Garcia. Were they playing against Moonlighting X?
Yes.
And they just knocked them out of cuts.
They did with the tie?
Snuck in with the tie.
Wow.
At 8th seed, so 8-2-1. So people want to know for late nights, looks like 9-2 is safe. So we had everything that I was kind of aiming towards, where X2 is always going to be safe. 8-2-1 almost safe. We didn't have the asymmetrical top cut today. I think doing a top 16 cut makes it really lengthy, especially when it comes to streaming these best of 3 games. So we're going to see who's available to stream their games. And kind of go from there. But when it comes down to our top 8, and we have our pairings, we have Unknown Gamer versus Marco, Anon 190 versus Lamine, Kikirda versus Nanetz, Supercell Cambo versus Kazuzuka. We go metagame and we go top cut. We have 2 Charizard, 1 Dango, 1 Gardevoir, 1 Iron Thorns Crustle, a Dragapult Dusknoir, an Enzork, and a Grimmsnarl Frostlass. Really diverse top 8 here.
You love to see it.
I want to see this Enzork deck.
Personally, one of my favorite decks right now. It's just pretty interesting because it's got really good matchups and it's got really bad matchups. And most importantly, good matchups into the top decks like Dragapult and like Gardevoir.
Huh. Really interesting. Now, do we have anyone who's able to stream their games in the top cut? Anyone streaming there right now?
I think Leafeon13 are. I think Leafeon13 was on Gardevoir, if I'm not mistaken.
We don't have Leafeon here. Let's take a brief pause and find some people to try to stream here. Am I in the right one?
Just match VC5.
Okay. And we're just waiting for, I guess, this game to load up. There we go. Perfect. I think we're here, right?
Yeah.
Cool. We are back. Top cuts. You see, it's just like barely loading up. Monkey Dory
Right.
versus anything. Literally, I feel like Monkey Dory is always just battling things out.
He's a legend. Well, we do see Guardy versus Dragapult Ghost, which isn't a matchup that we've seen today so far, I don't believe.
Is there anything interesting from this list? As a player from Japan, so that's really cool that they're kind of participating. I mean, when it comes to players who are playing in this tournament, we have a Russian player, 2 US players, 2 Brazilian players, 2 Japanese players, and a player from Luxembourg. So
That's sick.
that's a really diverse top cut, and I feel like the Luxembourg flag, that's probably the most tough. Russia and Luxembourg both had those tough where they played through the nights.
Jeez. And our player earlier from Hungary.
Yeah, you can play against some world-class players when it comes to playing these tournaments. It's really exciting.
As we see Badoo, this is a great Itchy Pollen here. Just going to shut off Buddy Poffin, going to shut off Secret Box. That's a lot of outs, 2 Ralts that just get immediately cut here. As we see him debating if we're going to bench this Fez before we Iono. Maybe, are we going to Iono? Are we going to Arven? I don't think Arven gets a lot of value since we are item locked. So yeah, it is going to be the Iono.
Yep, that Itchy Pollen be doing Itchy Pollen things.
Let's see, can we draw into a Ralts? The answer is no.
Yeah, that Ultra Ball is like, at first I was like, what do you mean no? Oh wait, Itchy Pollen, that's a thing. It's tough to deal with, right? We got to deal with that. It's something that exists. Itchy Pollen, a card from Prismatic Evolutions. Most collectors are trying to rip that Umbreon EX and run away those Badoos, whereas players are like, Badoos? You say Badoo, huh? Really, really an interesting thing there. But we're going to see the knockout into Badoo. 10 damage on Dreepy to set it up for future Mind Bend attack, or at least that seems like the decent idea. And we'll see where the Iono left Dragapult deck.
Yeah, are we going to see some Dracloaks is the big question. That's like honestly the best card that you can get Iono'd into and just see as a Dragapult player. Oh, there you go, Speak of the Devil. Just allows you to see more cards, allows you to get closer to that Dragapult attack. We're going to see the Recon Directive before any other cards get played. Do we have access to more Dreepies, Duskulls? This is pretty interesting because both players kind of have a relatively weak board. Oh, but the Poffin, that should patch this up.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like they're definitely able to maybe do another turn. Really want to see an energy attachment coming down on either a Dracloak, the Dreepy, something. They definitely need it.
Oh, 100%.
Was that just an Arven for another buddy? Is that going to be some Skulls? Okay. Duskull and a Dreepy. Makes a lot of sense.
Duskull's incredibly important in this matchup. This matchup often comes down to if the Gardevoir player can even get to Gardevoir, or if the Dragapult player is just able to pop Ghosts and spread enough damage to make sure that those Kirlias never become Gardevoir EX. And we see another Itchy Pollen here. This is a great play. Again, you just want to slow down your opponent. Just make sure that those Guardies never get online. Because Gardevoir EX without Psychic Embrace, not that great of a deck.
So
There
that 10 damage isn't going to take us
Gardevoir.
too far. We're probably going to see another Mind Bend into that Badoo because there's not much else. And I guess we just play Research here. I don't know if we need to play anything because we already have that Curly in hand, but I guess we're trying to get that rare Candy Gardevoir next turn. We see the Gardevoir portion of that. Looks to me
Sadly,
like it's...
no Arven.
Okay. So we're saving the routes there for, I mean, 50 damage with the Dusclops plus 60. So I guess the routes is safe from a Dragapult hitting it for 6 damage counters and a Dusclops.
Yeah, no rare candy in this Dragapult list, so we aren't going to see any rare candy Dusknoir shenanigans. And keep in mind, for those of you watching, this is a best of 3.
Yep, so it's not just best of 1 Swiss, and it's untimed as well. So time is not going to be a factor outside of PTCG Live's time. Both decks are going to be pretty aggressive, so it's not like we're going to see Crustle stall versus Crustle stall, or 2 decks that don't attack.
Oh my lord, did you just see the prize card that we have just drawn? We were able to find that rare candy for the second piece of our rare candy Gardevoir combo.
Yeah, definitely not terrible here now. Is there any way for them to get rid of the Bravery Charm, like a Jamming Tower or anything of that sort? Maybe, I guess Monkey Dory is not a possibility because they just attach an energy as well.
No jamming tower in this list, but you know what does stop rare candy? A third itchy pollen. We are going to see a third turn of item lock here, which means a third free prize for this Monkey Dory. This Monkey Dory has been putting in work with that Mind Bend.
You want to know what though? As soon as that, like, it might be 3 prizes. They could just go Dust Noir knockout routes, and the game just like instantly like crumbles here.
Exactly. And that's exactly what Phoenix Blah is going for here. Just trying to get that board wiped. Like I said, just make sure Guardy EX never sees play. Is your screen also frozen?
Looks like it's frozen here a little bit. Um,
I'm gonna hope that's the screen share and not TCG Live.
I see another player that said that their game froze as well, and they're calling it Judge.
Oh.
Guess we'll just see what's going on here. It's Unknown Gamer T, but they're playing against Marco Garcia. He's playing the Iron Thorns Crustle deck. Okay. Not sure what happened here. Looks like, is there a way to refresh the stream? I refreshed Discord.
I don't think that, yeah, I don't think that that's gonna do it, but there is another match that we can go and watch.
Okay, let's.
Cambo is on deafen him after, in case he ever does want a VC in here.
It
But
happens. No, I don't think anyone ever VCs in the late night. If they do, it is what it is. I'll wait for someone to hit us up.
there you go. We do see. I don't know what happened earlier in this game, but there's a Fez that's charged up and a Charizard with no energies. Is that the line in this matchup? KO the monkeys? I can kind of see it. I think as we are going to see it happen once again, Cruel Arrow sniping a Monkey Dory, but this just leaves your Pheasantipity or sniping Frostlass.
Sniping Frostlass. That's gonna shut off some damage real quick.
I actually like that a lot.
I mean, take surprise cards. It's gonna stop some things. I think it's pretty cool.
Yeah, I like that.
We can also see that there's only the one game in the top 8 that's been completed, and that's Marco Garcia playing against Unknown Gamer T. Unknown Gamer T winning game 1 with their Charizard deck against that Iron Thorns Crustle deck. Everyone else is just 1-1. I'm not sure if what's going on with anyone else. Maybe it's just the Discord stream crashed. So I'm happy that we have at least a couple games here that we can watch. Because as we're looking towards the top 8, as players get knocked out of tournaments, we also lose people who are streaming games.
Yeah. There's a little bit of an unfortunate side of TCG Live. There is no spectate feature.
Maybe that's something that we can add in the future. But we can only wish, we can only hope. Maybe we don't want that. We'll have to figure that out.
So we see Cambo deciding where this Monkey Dory damage is going to be placed. Where is it the most optimal? Plus that 30 ping from that Shadow Bullet. Looks like it's all going to be dumped onto this Charmeleon, trying to KO it potentially before it turns into a big bad Charizard.
And maybe it will. Maybe it won't. I'm already yawning. It is late night. It's like 1 o'clock in the morning here for us. So I'm just like, yeah, sleepy. But that Pidgeot's pretty much going to stop any hopes and dreams of what we have of like, if a Charizard comes out, it's most likely going to be able to attack this turn. 3 prize cards drawn puts us at 270 damage, right?
Yes.
Okay.
As a Charizard player, I know that math like the back of my hand.
Yep, I know that you and I both had our fair share of kind of Charizard gameplay.
I think that's the debate that we see our Charizard player going for, is that there are 4 fire energies in the discard. So if we don't have access to Super Rod in hand or a Charizard, we're gonna have to only choose one of them. That's the downside of Pidgeot EX, is yes, you do get any card, but it's only one.
And we got to choose something. We don't get to find out what they choose because we're not watching it from that standpoint, but we'll see.
Rock Scouting getting played. I wonder, are we maybe trying to set up a Monkey Dory this turn? If we set up a Monkey... Nope, I'm just getting a Charizard. Do we have access to that Super Rod? There you go. Super Rod, most likely going to be 3 fire energies here. Gonna allow us to charge up both of our Charizards. And from Cambo's side here, looks like a very strong board. 2 Grimmsnarls charged up, 2 Monkey Dories holding those dark energies. That Snorunt ready to become a Frostlass. Tick that damage. We definitely look for a Devo play to finish off this game.
Yeah, that would make a lot of sense, especially with the Charmeleon that can get Devoed, because there's the other one. I mean, I guess it wouldn't matter at this point because it's evolved into a Charizard, so it could get Devoed, but...
yeah. No Flare Veil.
No Flare Veil in this list at all.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting, because you would think that with all this Devo running around, you would want to play the Flare Veil, but the thing is, it has an ability, so it takes damage from Frostlass, which makes it inherently weaker to Flare Veil, or to Devo. So it's a little bit of a catch-22 there. As we see the Snorunt going to get targeted.
And that's one way to draw prize cards, so we're going to see the prize card drawn there. Now, Grimmsnarl can't get a knockout in return, especially with the Monkey Dory. Like, there's no damage in play.
Yeah, so you can see our Charizard player here is... Oh, and the top deck of the Frostlass. Would have been nice to have a Snorunt now. But yeah, you can see our Charizard player really prioritizing those Snowrunts. Does not want that Freezing Shroud in play. That ability just so crucial at taking damage, making sure that every Charizard is at that 100 HP, or that 100 damage, sorry, so that Devo can board wipe you. That is what we're trying to avoid here.
Yeah, I think we gotta go Boss's Orders, maybe. Like, I feel like this turn, like, if there's a Devo play, we go Boss's Orders onto the Charizard with 330. Oh. Maybe we're not going for that gameplay. Maybe we're gonna go Knockout on Pidgeot and play Devo at that point, but this is just gonna throw that 30 damage to the Void.
Yeah, well, that's the interesting thing, is this Pidgeot does not get KO'd. It would have 20 HP left if this one damage. 20 to 30 HP left, depending on where this Monkey Dory damage goes. Yeah, so we're trying to KO a Charizard plus a Pidgeot next turn. Well, the Charizard wouldn't get KO'd next turn, more so the Pidgeot and swing into the Charizard.
Oh yeah.
That is a little scary though, going down to 1 prize left against Charizard. You're just setting yourself up to be getting one shot back to back to back. What is the response here? I don't know what I can. Let me actually check what the egg spec here is on the side of our Charizard player. It is Max Bell. So we can see a KO on this Grimmsnarl. Is that what maybe the quick search was for?
Maybe.
I feel like getting a KO here with the Max Belt would be very, very strong. Setting yourself up for just winning this game in 2 turns, 2 attacks. And even the Monkey Dory healing. There's the Max Belt. Yep, this is a really strong position to be in as a Charizard player.
So they're doing what? One. That's the knockout, right?
Yeah, 270 plus 50, exactly 320 damage.
So that's enough. Okay. Math is tough, but I guess they're thinking math is extra tough. They just wasted 30.
I think it's just because it would get flipped right back, right?
Oh, okay, gotcha. Okay, that makes more sense. Sometimes math is tough, but sometimes people are thinking more than just one step ahead.
There you go. As we see the research immediately going to get ripped. Oh, we also see that copy of Energy Switch in the Grimmsnarl list. Kind of a sneaky card again. I talked about it earlier with that Joltik box list playing it, but Grimmsnarl kind of can do it a similar... Oh, and we're just going to see the concession. Yep. That makes a lot of sense. This is a best of 3.
Yep, just go to the next game if it's not going your way. If it's over, it's over.
Yeah, I think the only way we can maybe win that game is with some sort of Devo. I don't know if the that Charizard was from a Charmeleon or from a Charmander, but maybe if it's from a Charmander and he doesn't have a candy, we can maybe do something, but didn't draw into the Devo off the research, so we're just going to scoop it up and go to the next game.
Sweet. I'm just going to go run grab some water real quick. I'll be right back, but everyone stay tuned. Be right back.
Cambo deciding he's going to go second, which definitely does make sense. Going second allows you to have the best setup possible. Starting off with a relatively strong hand to the TM Evo, the Arvin. We've definitely got options. So we see double Monkey Dory start from both sides. Oh my god, and gets the Luminous attachment off the rip, the Buddy Poffin. Looks like a solid hand on both sides here. We're going to have ourselves a good game. Deciding what to get off of this Buddy Poffin, potentially doing a little bit of a prize check. Charmander's in the deck, Pidgey's in the deck. Opting to go for Tatsugiri. Oh, because we have a Charmander in hand. That makes a lot of sense. Once this Monkey Dory gets KO'd, if it does, we do get the promotion of the Tatsugiri immediately. Allow us to look at the top 6 cards of our deck, grab a supporter that we find there. Debating whether we grab a double Frostlass here. And it looks like we are going to get the double Snorunt. Nestball going to grab us most likely another monkey, and the Spike Myth getting us an Impidimp. Now I wonder where this TM Evo goes. Are we just opting to play aggressive here with these Snowrunts, try to get as many ticks as early as possible on this Monkey Dory, on that Tatsugiri? Nope, looks like we're going to go for one of each, one Mortar, one Frostlass. I like that. Especially just threatening the Grimmsnarl so fast since that Spike Myth if that Spike with Gym stays into play, it's the easiest way to get into a Grimmsnarl. Especially you have that rescue board in hand, you can save that energy attachment onto that Monkey Dory, potentially set up double Monkey in the same turn. Ultra Ball TM Evo, grab it on the side of our Charizard player here off the Arven. Looks like we're manually evolving to Pidgeotto. I wonder, are we going to TM Evo into the Pidgeot straight away? Maybe just a Charmeleon Pidgeot TM Evo here would make a lot of sense.
Oh, I'm back, by the way. Yo, yo, yo.
Welcome back. You didn't miss much. I think both players just going for a little bit of a TM Evo, trying to get their setup.
And this is, I mean, we just watched game 1, so this is game 2, right?
Yep.
Cool, cool, cool.
Looks like that's exactly what we're seeing, the Charmeleon, the Pidgeot EX. And now this can be a crazy turn. We have the boss's orders in hand. Spike Myth can grab us the Grimmsnarl. We can KO the only Charmeleon in play here. Plus, can we get the KO onto the Tatsugiri? We can. So we can take a 2-prize KO here. There you go.
And that's going to put us on 4 prize cards, only 4 left to go. Definitely have like that 2-prizer in play, so we have some opportunities there. Looks like a really good start to the game.
Yeah, it looks like we do KO the Tatsugiri. I do like this KO. It's sometimes a little scary to go aggressively in taking KOs on against the Charizard deck, but I feel like Tatsugiri here is just way too much value. It's a free promotion. Our Charizard player only has 2 cards in hand, so they kind of need a little bit of a boost to the hand. Something like an Arven would be great for them to find. So I do agree with this KO.
So where can the other player kind of come back from? Because it looks like a really good start for Grimmsnarl here.
Yeah, just that we do have the monkey setup, which is really good. I'm trying to think of the math with the Frostlass pings, 300. With the max belt, we would be 10 short if Grimmsnarl doesn't take a KO here. But we definitely want to take a turn off, establish some more Charmanders. Try to get ourselves back into the game. Nest Ball and Max Belt are the grabs off the Arven.
Yep. You see what that Fez is going to bring to the table. There's really not much. Like, it looks like every deck ever, but Pidgeot, Monkey Dory, Fez is only so good. Like, it's only getting us so far here. You can see they're checking the discard pile. I like that. Now we're seeing a quick search, not a retreat. What would be a good card to grab here? That's a good question.
Depending on how many Charmanders are in deck, we could see a Buddy Poffin.
Yeah, Buddy Poffin would be cool. Just something that can grab something. I think we need to see more attacking Pokemon instead of these like support auxiliary Pokemon.
Maybe taking a little bit of a debate on what exactly to grab. It's most likely going to be the card that's played next, Super Rod. Maybe we didn't have any more Charmanders in deck. Maybe prized a few. Curious to see what's going to get rotted back. Maybe the whole Charmander line? Charmander, Charmeleon, and a Fire.
We see Giovanni in the chat. How's it going? Hopefully everyone's having a good night. Watching some Pokemon. I mean, we're going to be crowning the first late night champ of season 11. Pretty cool stuff.
We're treating it to the Monkey Dory. I like this. I kind of like giving up a prize card here. Just because it allows your Charizard to start one-shotting with that max spell. And I honestly, with the way that our Charizard player is playing here, I think he prized all but one of his Charmanders. He is on 3 copies of Charmander. I think we've prized 2. Because aggressively going for that Super Rod early just to rod back one Charmander and then poffering back only one Charmander, something tells me that there's not more in the deck, which makes this match a little trickier.
Yeah, sometimes
But still
prize cards are just like the most telling thing in a match. Where you're like, oh, this is a map of where things went wrong or where things kind of took an interesting turn. I think it's more interesting to watch than not. I think a lot of us complain about prize cards, but it certainly does keep every game of Pokemon, makes it unique. Now, I mean, is Grimmsnarl, like, Grimmsnarl's just gonna end up hitting the active.
I'm not sure if we have access to an Earthen Vessel or an Energy Search here. We can KO this Charmander relatively easily. I don't think plays one in his list, so opting to go for the Iona. If we see a Dark Energy, that would have been big, but it looks like a whiff.
Still setting up some things for TM de-evolution. See how that goes.
I think if we saw a Dark Energy get drawn there, if I'm the Charizard, I think I'm considering maybe just a scoop. We could have honestly also seen Energy switch. I wonder why we didn't go. I would have maybe tried to see an aggressive play on this Charmander.
Especially we also could have checked with Spike Myth as well.
Yeah. I would have maybe liked to see an aggressive play here off the read that the other Charmanders are prized.
That's okay. I mean, this is what game 3s are for, right? Because yeah, it looks like everyone in the top 8 has finished 1 rounds. If we end up going to game 3, we end up going to game 3.
There you go.
I feel like most of the time when I play in top cutout, like League Cups and stuff like that, I always have like one game that just does not go my way, or I prize something, or I'm like, oh, yeah. I'm frustrated, I made a mistake. Then I just reevaluate and come back and approach the games the way that I truly want to. So I like the idea, like, even if it's not going well, we get to see more Pokemon gameplay. And all players will have that opportunity. And hopefully we end up getting a really cool game 3.
Yeah. Our Charizard player here, though, going to try to not see that game 3. Going to try to end it in 2. Is Charmander living by a thread here on 10 HP as we see the second Super Rod get played. Monkey Dory and Charizard EX with the grabs.
Yeah, 6 prize card comebacks gotta be that's a tough one, but not impossible. Definitely possible here. Because if there's any deck that's gonna do a comeback, it's Charizard with Monkey Dory and Pidgeot. It's these cards that can kind of just do anything when it comes down to it. I wish we could replay games we've played. That'd be really cool. You just gotta, yeah, Pokemon, there's too many variable factors. It's not like chess where we can like remake board states very well. We can sometimes do that with like puzzles, but being able to replay everything, incredibly tough. I think a lot of it has to go with a bunch of what ifs, right? Pokemon's kind of like about probability at the time, more so than what actually happens. I mean, we see this Charizard. This Charizard coming out with 3 prize cards on. It's doing, what, 270?
270, yep. So we are 20 damage short here. Frostlass going to take care of 10 of those damage counters. We're going to need to see either a Max Belt or an Adrenabrain if we want to see this Grimmsnarl get KO'd this turn. More scarily, though, you see that TM Devo lined up in Cambo's hand. Oh, are we going to see a... Oh, I think we're going to see a Cruel Arrow. Trying to go around this Grimmsnarl. So it looks like it's going to be a similar line to what we saw last game.
I mean, I think it's a very similar line as what we saw, what was it, Gabriel Fernandez playing at NEIC, right? Where it's just like using that Cruel Arrow more. Oftentimes we only look at Festivity as a card that can just draw. Seemed to work out just well as a good attacker.
Opt in to KO that Frostlass, counter catching the Snorunt. Rescue board we see is already committed to this Monkey Dory, so if we see an attach retreat, that means that we aren't setting up a second Monkey Dory. We do see the energy switch though, so we see double Adrenabrain is online if we want to this turn.
Is there any particular Pokemon we could target with that? I mean, we can't win the game, I guess.
We wouldn't be able to win the game this turn. This is where the math gets tricky because of the Monkey Dory on the opposing side of the field.
Yeah, you don't want to be giving your opponent any free damage if possible.
Oh, this Devo would be crazy here to KO the Charmander. But we do still see that the Fez would be charged up, so that is an attacker ready, lined up. I think we're debating if we attach this TM Devo this turn. It looks like we do.
And we could just go TM Devo and not even worry about anything else, right? Like, be like, well, let's hope you have nothing.
Yeah, that does make sense. You are giving Flip the Script, though.
That is true.
But I like just taking one prize with this on the Charmander, then just threatening game if the Charizard attacks with Pheasantipity again, we can just promote our Grimmsnarl and take the KO. We're opting to not evolve into Frostlass. Debating it. No, we're gonna evolve into Frostlass.
Okay, so we're also gonna get some damage ticks in between turns as well.
Yeah, most importantly, putting that Fez in that 180 range for our Grimmsnarl Shadow Bullet. So again, just a tricky scenario if you're the Charizard player here.
And it's just like, how do you come back from 5 prize cards at this point? I think that's just the tough spot to be in. Seeing some thoughts. I mean, we have the Pidgeot still, so that's okay. It's moments like this where I miss Radiant Charizard. Just coming back and being like, 250 out of nowhere. We did lose that too. Lest we forget, Charizard's had a rough go in this format. Outside of Fernandez winning NEIC with it definitely has had a few L's in terms of like what it's lost.
Rotom, Lumineon, Forest Sealstone. God, I miss them.
Yep, definitely a lot of opportunities there, but you want to know what, the deck does find a way to live on. Definitely still really cool deck. I own it at 2. I feel like that's where Grimmsnarl is at its weakest, right? Like, I feel like it doesn't have much natural draw like any of these other big stage 2 decks.
Yeah, exactly. No Drakloaks to live off of. No restarts, no Fez.
No coin bonus, no nothing.
It is a deck that gets to play a lot on the board, though. As we see Night Treacher most likely going to grab our 1-of Charmander this game. Counter Catcher. Yep, going to be on the Monkey without the energy as we snipe the one with. Is what I would assume we're... Or we could snipe the Frostlass again. So we're just kind of praying here that there's no dark energy in our opponent's hand, because all it takes is just one Adrenabrain plus the retreat.
And then, yeah, that's it.
So just one dark energy would do it, and we do see that energy search in Cambo's hand.
The question is there an energy? We see 3-4 energies in play. How many are in the discard pile?
That's a good question.
It is always tough because we want, like, naturally I'm just like, what's in the discard pile? Let's click and look. we're watching a Discord recording, so if they're not looking, the one thing that I'd say that I don't think enough people do here at late night is chronically check their discard pile. I check my discard pile as often as, like, we're checking it out. Okay, so this is gonna bring us what, to game 3?
Yep.
Game 3, seeing who's making top 4. Where does this put us at the rest of the tournament now? We have Nanance has advanced to top 4 with Dragapult Dusknoir over Kakerda, who played Gardevoir. So I believe the only Gardevoir that we had in top cut was knocked out of cuts. And the winner of now this game is going to be playing against them. So pretty interesting. Very diverse top 8 here when it comes to this Desperate Rivals metagame. It's been honestly quite interesting. Now, matchup wise, who do you think's gonna pull through here?
I feel like the matchup's still got to be a little rough for Charizard, right? Like, despite all the tricks with the cruel arrows and the max belt, I mean, Devo has just been since day one. Devo has been kind of the pain in Charizard's back.
Yeah, that is it's kind of accurate. I'll give you that. Makes a lot of sense.
2 mulligans too on the side of the Charizard. Sorry, I just blanked out.
You're completely fine. It's getting late. That's what we got going on for late nights, right? It's it runs late. It's not supposed to be the most well polished everything. I'm not Chip Ritchie and you're not Frosted Caribou, you know what I'm saying?
I am not.
We're just two guys having fun. And yeah, I mean, we're gonna see. Hopefully we just have people who are able to continue to stream. I mean, either that or, like, for my sleep schedule, maybe not. So this is where games can get really freaky. They need to get something more than just that Charmander, because the game could be over immediately. I mean, there's that Artisan, right?
Yeah, the Artisan here. Oh, and a Buddy Poffin. So we are going to see
Okay.
multiple basics.
It's not going to be one of those games where it just gets absolutely, like, demolished because it's just like basic Pokemon. It's over. I think we've seen that a lot over the past year, especially for me most notable was EUIC, where we saw Natalie Millar get turn 1 donked 2 out of 3 games in the finals for EUIC.
Yeah, that was a final of all time.
Yep. 2,500 bucks though. Or 25,000.
Charmanders.
Okay, Charmanders, we out here. You asked for them,
And a
we
Pidgey
got
coming from
them.
the artisan.
I also feel like playing that Pidgey when it comes down to like this matchup could be difficult when it comes to Technical Machine Devo.
Yeah, that's true. That's just one Monkey Dory and one Frostlass Ping back and forth. Oh. Is a little bit of a frustrated emote. I don't know if that's because we prized something that we wanted or if that's because TCG Live bugged. Maybe the Monkey Dory was prized.
Oh, guess we'll see.
As we go into a TM Evo here, though, still seems like a pretty solid turn.
Yeah, definitely
things
can't
considered.
ask for too much more than this.
There, and even the Ultra Ball for the Pidgeot EX, so we know that we're gonna have a good follow up on the following turn.
Yep, there's a Pidgeotto. Pidgeotto's not prized. We're gonna see Charmeleon here. Charmeleon's not prized. Because the worst is when you have the TM Evo and you're like, oh, I have the Pidgeotto in my hands.
The Pidgeotto in my hand and the Charmeleon in the discard. See Arvin lining up the secret box and the rescue board. Most likely trying to go for a TM Evo of his own. Sorry, the yawns are getting to me.
That's okay. We'll we'll get through them too. Either that or we'll both fall asleep on VC. It is what it is. And see the secret box coming here. Secret box, because there's no draw supporter for next turn, makes a lot of sense. And they're able to get set up. No, we've already had the waiting turn. Do we just go after, like... Do we just go right for the rare candy, start attacking with Grimmsnarl?
That just leaves your board so susceptible, I feel. I think you definitely want to take a setup turn.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Makes a lot of sense.
You can even set up a Morgrim in the active here, then TM Evo into a second Morgrim and a Frostlass. I don't know if the second Morgrim was in deck, but I would have maybe liked to see the active get evolved and TM Evo into another one. Unless we're trying to double Frostlass here, which could make sense. Or, yeah, that totally makes sense. We could Spike Myth for the Morgrim and then... Yep, I forgot.
Spike Myth goated.
Don't mind me.
Okay. Double Frostlass doing damage only to your own Pokemon. It's kind of an interesting take when you think about it. Like, a lot of decks are trying to do damage to their opponent's Pokemon. We're just building up damage on our own Monkey Dory. Like, if you, out of context, someone who's never played Pokemon before would be like, why would you ever, like, do this? This is like, yeah, I purposely stub my toes when I walk. It will make sense later. Don't worry about it, right? Yep, I tripped falling up. I tripped down the stairs. It was part of the plan. Like, this is not clumsiness. This is well planned.
See the Iono get played from Kasa's side. Now the quick search, most likely gonna, I don't know, are we grabbing a Charizard here? Are we trying to snipe with Cruel Arrow? What do you think?
Cruel Arrow could take care of one of the Frostlasses, but it also means that Grimmsnarl is going to take a knockout next turn.
Yeah.
And we also see a question in the chat, Xavier PTCG, will there be a late night leaderboard this season? Of course. So the top 32 players from Late Night will be invited to the Late Night Invitational, where they're going to be playing for some prize packs. Typically it's Ultimate Guard stuff, but we'll determine how everything goes once it's finalized for things. I know for this last late night, I gave out the prizing at NEIC, so a lot of players got like Sidewinders, Katana sleeves, and if they didn't get Sidewinders, we gave them extra Katana sleeves because there were some shipment delays, but who can't complain about some free sleeves? Or I guess who can complain about some free sleeves? I know for myself when it comes to being a Pokemon player, I go through sleeves like crazy. Playing in League Cups, League Challenges, testing my decks, seeing, I don't know, just re-sleeving decks sometimes. So we'll see what we got going on for this season. Definitely in the talks with some sponsors, but if there's anyone who's watching this stream, and shout out to the 100+ of y'all who are watching right now, we're looking to try to do the most we possibly can. So if you think you might want to be of assistance to late nights, we totally can make that happen.
As you were giving your little speech, we saw Casa go for a Blazing Destruction. Definitely not the attack that we're trying to announce if we're playing Charizard here. But thankfully for him, whiffing a turn is Cambo a little bit. Just opted to just go for an Adrenabrain pass, so nothing too crazy on his side either. No crazy good punish. Both players having a little bit of a slow time here.
That's okay. I think like slow Pokemon is actually like my favorite when it comes down to it, because it does make it so funny how things go. It's not always like as scripted as it might seem otherwise.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep, Xavier starting off with a top 16, definitely not bad. Those are the type of finishes that you kind of want to. You need to get a couple of those, especially if you want to make top 32. And I mean, making a late night invitational is fantastic.
I wonder why here we see the Adrenabrain onto the Frostlass and not onto the Monkey.
Maybe they are trying to go. It's interesting. It's probably just
I
like
guess if
late night definitions. Things are kind of interesting.
I think because if you're KOing a Frostlass, then the double ping doesn't KO it.
I mean, there's only one way to find out, and that's us watching it.
Yep.
We'll see. Again, still no one else who's advanced over to. Oh, you want to know? We had Unknown Gamer T that advanced over Marco Garcia. So Unknown Gamer T knocked out the Iron Thorns Crustle. So we have a Charizard Pidgeot in the top 4. Joining again Nanas, playing Dragapult Dusknoir. So an interesting top 4 that we have here.
Yep. The winner of this will play against Dragapult Dusknoir. Wow, can you believe that the only repeating deck that we have in the top 8 is Charizard Pidgeot? Did you expect that when you woke up this morning?
No, I didn't expect anything when I woke up this morning, to be honest. I had some leftovers in my fridge that I reheated. I expected to have that for dinner. Leftover Canada Day barbecue dinner. Pretty good dinner, not gonna lie. So happy to have some leftovers there, but other than that, not really expecting much. But you want to know what? Charizard's definitely one of those tried, true, proven decks. Even though it's not the best, I think we definitely have that list from NEIC, and I think that Mr. Fernandez has had an exceptional season.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, exceptional. He's had a perfect season. He won all 3 ICs.
You know he has the most amount of championship points that you can get?
What was that? Was 2,600, I think?
I believe so.
2,900?
I think 26.
Whatever
Which
it
is
works out
ridiculous.
to, it's crazy. Okay, so
Yeah.
Charizard's going to be hitting for 210. It's probably going to take out the other Frostlass now, so no more Frostlass shenanigans. No more damage on those ability Pokemon in between turns.
Yeah, and that's been Kasa's main strat this whole set so far has just been target these Frostlass.
Seems fair, right? Like, you always gotta have a plan to go after something.
And it seems to be working pretty decently here.
Okay, there's another Monkey Dory, taking some damage from 3 Monkey Dories with Adrenabrain. That's gonna be enough to knock out the Charizard, the Charmander. It's a 3 prize card turn here.
Yeah, but this is a little scary though because now you're getting into one-shot territory with this max belt.
That is very true. Drawing prize cards does increase Charizard's attack, so you always have to be careful of what's coming up next.
Yeah, that is if we can draw into Candy, Charizard, and the max belt. So we see another Snorunt getting shuffled back into the deck. Maybe debating if we use this Buddy Buddy Poffin to get it out of the deck. Yep, looks like we will.
Okay.
Counter Catcher the Pidgeot. I like this, leaving the options open for a potential Devo play, not trying to take too many prizes and open up that line that I was mentioning earlier.
And
We are going to
that's
see one prize card drawn though.
okay, and that's putting us almost there. So with the 4 prize cards left, it definitely looks like it's going to be a Pidgeot, Charizard, Charmander game. But we can't count out Technical Machine de-evolution when it comes to this either. Sometimes I wonder, what's Pidgeot search notes? I'm so curious. I just want to be a fly on the wall for that hand. You're like, what did you actually grab?
Yeah, I wish we could have that double player access. Maybe that spectator mode will come one day and we could have that. That would
Yeah,
be lovely.
we can only hope.
We can always dream.
That's okay. Any PTCG live devs you want to hear at our dreams? We're just 2 Pokemon players.
I got a whole list.
Oh yeah, same here. Anyone would need just more than a lunch break to figure this stuff out.
So what's the play here, you think, if you're Casa? It seems like a pretty tough scenario to be in. You gotta somehow protect your Charmanders. Be aggressive. KO these Monkey Dories.
The thing is, it's going to be really hard because there's no when you're only doing 240 damage, you're so far away. And even if you're doing
Yeah,
290, you're not getting there. It looks like what we're just sacrificing the Charmander to try to like sacrifice one more prize card.
that does make sense.
Gotta add
Here,
fancy animations to Twin Leaf so it's enjoyable to spectate games. That'd be really cool. I mean, at the end of the day, just having options to spectate games, totally a dub. And if that's how like tournaments end up going, I think the big thing is just like trying to get people to run tournaments on Twin Leaf. When Twin Leaf, I could be wrong. Twin Leaf's not officially released yet for the public, right?
I don't believe so.
We could be both be like literally players that are like, we're like, it is. What did we miss?
I would love for someone to say to prove me wrong. I just realized we are 10 damage short from threatening game. That is crazy. Because we could be threatening game with Monkey Dory onto the Charmander, then Devo. But we are 10 damage short on our own board to flip over. Looks like there's a Turo going to be played as well on the side of Casa.
Oh, interesting.
Turoing up the Pidgeot.
And that Shaman is going to block the additional 30 from thing, so very defensive turn here.
Oh my god, this boss's order top deck is huge. We can KO both Charmander lines.
No! That's crazy. That's wildin'.
Oh wait, no we can't because the Shaman.
Oh, you're right, and there's no, it's 10 damage off. So close. But are we going to have the rare candy Charizard necessary to make that happen?
We do have only 3 or 4 cards in hand, one of them being that Pidgeot EX. Actually, did he evolve that from Pidgeotto? So that's 2 potential cards that are rare candy.
That Shaman's coming in crazy clutch here.
Looks like we're gonna opt to boss's orders the Pidgey. Taking out the Pidgey, this severely limits Casa's options. Here, if I'm Casa, I'm looking for Max Belt, looking for a potential way to KO this Grimmsnarl. But we see him going for a sad emote. I think the writing is on the wall. I think he can see it coming. Because now that the Frostlass is online and these monkeys have taken damage, that Charmander is no longer safe.
That is very true.
Zach, do you see the chat right now? We have some special, I think we have a special sneak peek announcement.
Me and Dan, it goes open beta this weekend. Sick invites.
Damn, we have the announcement before the announcement.
That's exciting. That is super cool, though. I know that all y'all have put a lot of effort into that, so I'm excited to see what it is, especially as a tournament organizer. Would love to see, maybe it's better than PTCG Live for late night, right? Like, it's hard to tell. And
Tournament organizer and a coach.
oh yeah, that's coaching's a thing too. I forget that I pay rent somehow. Did we? Did I miss something?
I think Cambo won. I'm not sure.
Okay, just want to make sure.
what
It looks okay. They're already. Is Phoenix Blah the?
I believe so. I don't know why we're challenging, or is that the next match? Are we just jumping into the next match?
They're on it. Looks like we're in top 4. Top 8's still going on. The other one, they're like, yeah, let's just start top 4. Okay, so looks like it's gonna be Grimmsnarl versus Dragapult. Pretty interesting stuff. How does this matchup go?
It's generally pretty interesting. I think the idea as the Dragapult is you're kind of just trying to ghost away the monkeys, or target them with counter catcher and stuff. It also comes down to how fast the Grimmsnarl can be under Badoon.
Sure.
Other than that, it's a pretty solid matchup on both sides, I think.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, that's kind of what I always thought it was, that it's like pretty close, seeing exactly how it can go. And I guess we'll find out exactly how it goes here. Um, no impidimps when it comes down to this start.
Oh
Um,
wow.
Probably not what you want to see game one, top four. Grim favored. Yeah, Grim's favored, but it's
Yeah, I
also
think Grim's slightly favored.
Dragapult. Like, it's tough. I think the Dust Noir definitely makes it a little bit more difficult than just like straight, right?
Yeah, I 100% agree.
It also makes it really difficult to like for it to be like, yeah, this deck beats this. It's like it has Dust Noir, anything could happen. Okay, so we finally see that Impidip hit the board. It's able to evolve in a couple turns. That's fine. Question is how does this play out here? Not really, not really anything exciting now. It's just like, yeah, we're getting set up, play some Pokemon down, pass. We're also playing against Bidoof, so Itchy Pollen's a thing, but Itchy Pollen's building up its own kind of, like, it's digging its own grave when it comes to that Adrenabrain. Placing those damage counters just seems like harsh every single turn, because Bidoof only sitting at that 30 HP, so definitely going to struggle a little bit there. I also like, we see that Neo Upper Energy on the Dracloak on the bench, so that could become a Dragapult at any point and just start attacking, which is absolutely wild.
Yeah, most importantly, Dragapult does not have an ability compared to Dracloak. So the sooner it evolves, the safer it is.
That is very true. But also building up some damage because there's also a Monkey Dory in this deck as well. So Monkey Dory wants to take some of that damage from Frostlass. And you got to be careful with your damage counter placements when it comes to your Adrenabrain, because you could also give your opponent extra damage if you're not too careful.
Yep, I think that's why we opted to not use the Adrenaline last turn instead of just using it. It might seem weird to keep yourself damaged instead of healing, but it makes sense, right? Because you don't want your opponent to get control of those 10 damage counters.
It's the proverbial game of hot potato in 2025. And potatoes, as someone who's been enjoying their barbecue this summer, baked potatoes are kind of hot. I'm not gonna lie, I've had like baked potatoes like 3 days this week, and we are only Wednesday. I'm so cooked, chat. I am a baked potato enjoyer. Anyone out here having some summer goodness? Anything fun this summer that anyone's doing? Dario, I went to the Biodome in Montreal.
Ooh.
I felt like I was like having I felt like a child on a school trip. It was so cool. Like,
Yeah, it's a fun place.
yeah.
I haven't been there since I was very, very young, probably on a school trip as well.
Is that what it is? You went on a school trip? It totally feels
I
like one
think
of those
so.
places. Okay. It was cool. I learned that Quebec has Petit Pingouin up in the north. And,
Small penguins.
yeah. So I was like, I didn't know that we got those things here. I'm kind of excited about that. So I think this, I think I have plans to explore Quebec. It gave me a kind of newfound respect for our beautiful province.
There you go.
I'm gonna check out the insectarium and I guess butterfly conservatory or whatever in the next couple weeks. So
right next door, right?
Exactly, yeah. So they're getting me the 1450 parking every single time, but that's okay. It's worth it. Caesar Sobrevilla. Hey Zach, are you gonna be coming to Monterey in September? Oh, I want to go so bad. tickets are expensive, but I think my FOMO of not going is going to kick in, so I think I'm going to go. What about you, Dario? Have you started planning your season at all?
I have not planned my season, but Monterey is a location that I would love to go to.
It was sick. I thought the venue, if it's the same venue as it was last year, it's right beside where they did Pokemon Go Fest Monterey. So it was
Oh
really
wow.
cool there. Um, I thought everything was like well priced compared to a lot of these North American events. So
Hmm.
that was nice. And players were just like absolutely so hyped up to have a regionals there. I mean, it was like the first time that they've had that regionals in Monterey, so very exciting.
It does seem like a really cool location to visit too, and I know everyone that went had a really good time, so FOMO might get the best of me as well.
Also, tacos in Mexico are just fire. I don't think in Canada we don't nearly have as good tacos.
I could imagine. Get them right from the source.
Yeah, exactly. 100,000%. Kind of back to this gameplay. See that timer going up at the top, 8 seconds, 7 seconds. It's getting tight. Deciding which technical machine are we going to get? It's the real important
Secret box decisions
questions.
are always tough. There's too many decisions to make. 4 decisions in one, basically.
And you have the same amount of time as you would for anything else. You don't get no bonus time. You're like, yeah, everyone's fine.
No charity.
Looks like this deck's like it's not setting up as good as it normally is, but maybe this is like rare candy is going to be the start of like kind of a new page here. Kind of jumping back into that game, drawing some of those prize cards that I was kind of like longing for.
There we see our first Shadow Bullet of the game. First Shadow Bullet of this set. A lot of this damage is going to be flung right back with that Monkey Dory of Phoenix's own.
Okay. But so what's the Dragapult player expected to do here? Just like attack back?
Um, Maybe you can go after some monkeys here. You have a few lines. You can either KO this Grim with the Dusknoir plus Phantom Dive. Uh, Especially if you have Hawlucha, you can leave no damage on the board. Uh, if you KO both the Impidimp and the Grimmsnarl. So it's pretty interesting. I think with your attacks, you're trying to leave the minimal amount of damage possible on your opponent's board for them to flip back. If you can't do that though, it's often just a good idea to just KO the monkeys, which you can double KO with a boss and a Dusknoir here.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
We see an Ultra Ball coming down for
Okay.
the Hawlucha, so it looks like we might be going for one of the plays that I mentioned.
I love Hawlucha. Hawlucha is literally one of my favorite Pokemon.
Yeah, he's a sick Pokemon.
And it's so
Shout out
cool
to
to see.
Caesar.
Shout out to Caesar.
If you know, you know. So yeah, we see the 130 going onto the Grimmsnarl, so I'm gonna have to assume that we're going for an Impidimp plus Grimmsnarl KO.
Huh. And that would put us only down to what, one prize card left to 4?
Yep. And we see another Duskull come down, so just a Dusknoir would spell game.
Dusknoir does always make things so interesting.
Wait, even better, he's KOing a Morgrim instead of a Grimmsnarl. Or sorry, instead of an Impidimp. So we're
Oh,
forcing our
so
opponent to go.
Rare can't.
Forcing our opponent to get the candy, yeah.
Yeah, rare candy top deck, Arven top deck. Let's see. I mean, sometimes you gotta just like lean into the plays that are possible. Could send up the Monkey Dory because they both have the dark energies. But guess we're going right into the Impidimp. Let's see what's up.
I guess it doesn't matter because if you don't have the Impidimp,
what?
No way.
I do have to say, out of everyone, this is a crazy Grimmsnarl player that just, they seem to find their way to top deck out of everything. This is the same player that we saw knock Xavier out of the tournament, right? By going crazy with the boss.
Yeah, I believe so.
Maybe Grimmsnarl, come on. Gotta save some top decks for the rest of us here. I'm not sure if it's gonna change anything. We'll see how the rest of the game plays out, but literally needed one card. Didn't even have to try to draw nothing. Didn't even search it out with Arven. Just the rare candy.
I think his outs were 2 out of 25 there, with Arven and rare candy being his only outs.
Yeah, it happens. We take those, I guess.
You get lucky sometimes. Happens to the best of us. I wonder if we're gonna go for a Devo here. The Lux Cape actually putting in a lot of work protecting the Dracloak, because instead of having 90 HP, it has 190 from that Devo.
Which is really easy to forget here. Even with the Adrenabrain, you can only put yourself up to 160 on that 2B Dracloak, so not enough for the knockout. Now, we could just go for the attack, though, with Shadow Bullet, right?
Yeah, we can just go for the KO. I think we attach the Devo just in case, because it was going to get researched regardless.
Yeah.
Yeah, as we do see the Shadow Bullet. And now I think this game comes down to, can Phoenix find both a Dusclops and a Dragapult? If he finds the Dusclops, just doesn't need to Gust, just can KO a monkey with the 60 damage counters from the Phantom Dive plus the 50 from Curse Blast and immediately evolving into Dusclops. And boss's orders doesn't even need the Dragapult.
No Dragapult. The boss orders was crazy.
The way he was playing that fast, I think that Cambo knew he was done for. He immediately hovered over.
That's what I love about these online players who know what they're doing. They're just like, yep, we have it. We're not gonna wait around and play it around. My worst like feeling that I have is like when I'm playing against someone in real life and they sit there and play a 5-minute turn, they're like, oh, I just realized I won. I'm like, thanks. So good sportsmanship.
You've been giving me false sense of hope for the last 30 minutes.
Exactly. I already have a false sense of hope, right? Every single day I wake up. Please do not hit me with the false sense of hope in Pokemon. Thank you very much. So, okay, we're gonna see the game kind of start over. Part of the cards in the chat. I love it. I love it. We're
both players there a little bit.
I wonder what's going on in the top 8. They've been playing this like game 3 for over 30 minutes.
Jesus. Sometimes games just take a while, man.
Yeah, you never know what's going to be going on. I just asked them, still playing game 3 question mark? Because you never know, like, if the players just, like, fell asleep, right? Where it's just, like, maybe they both fell asleep and it's getting late.
Or, yeah, they forgot to report the last game or something.
Exactly, and they're just like, oh, cool, or they thought they did. They said, yeah, they're still playing. Crazy. They said it's on Discord as well. We're already in the top 4. Oh. So, yes, the big question here is we see these results and we have late night every week. Are we going to see the same results next week? Or do you like, are these normal results, abnormal results? What's your take?
I don't know if we're going to see a lot more Charizard. I think the Charizard might calm down a little bit. But I do definitely think that Grimmsnarl and the variety of decks are definitely going to definitely going to stick around because I do think we're in a pretty wide meta at the moment. Dragapult, Gardevoir, and Grimmsnarl, all very strong decks, but definitely all beatable. Like for example, we didn't see Raging Bolt in this top 8. I wouldn't be surprised to see Raging Bolt maybe next week. But yeah, I think we're going to see a little bit of the same, but also a lot more diversity.
So we are going. I agree. I think definitely going to see some of the same decks, but I wouldn't be surprised if we saw a little bit of different decks. I think we might see as more players are like, hey, late night's actually back. We're going to see a lot of players experiment with different types of decks. And it looks like the other top 4 game is started. Not sure what was really like holding it back all that much, but sometimes it's just like that. Sometimes games just take long. Maybe these are going to be some quick games. As long as we keep on having players that are able to stream their games, that's all that really matters for us, so that we can continue to kind of keep this tournament going. I think a lot of the late nights end up ending prematurely, where it's like no one in the finals is able to stream. Hopefully we're able to get through the entire tournaments.
I'm not sure if my body will give out before then.
That's literally the fun part about it, is when it does. We're just like blah 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 blah. I'm like, are you snoring over there? Be kind of cool if we had if I would PTCG Live work on a Switch too?
That's a good question that I do not have the answer to.
Like, you could, it has a touch screen, right? Like, what would be the difference between that and a phone?
You would have to play or have it work on like tabletop mode or whatever you call it, like when it's hooked up to a screen on docked.
You do it with the mouse controls.
True, I forgot about the mouse controls.
That'd be kind of cool. Like, there's nothing that stops it, right? Like, if since we have mouse controls, it's just like lits.
Yeah.
Yeah,
because I didn't think of that.
Maybe I'd play a Nintendo Switch more, and then I could use game chat. That'd be cool.
Damn, you might be cooking.
I mean, there's so much bloatware on the eShop that PTCG Live just feels like it belongs, to be honest. I'm like, how bad could it be? I'm saying, how bad could it be? The amount of players who are like, my Nintendo Switch 2 died after 10 minutes of playing live. Where?
Also, this game is not going so great. Again, Phoenix looking like he's in the driver's seat. All of the impotence got board wiped last turn.
Balatro on Switch. I think someone got PTCGL on Switch 1 with an Android mod. Okay. I feel like we have the big brains in the chat here. I'm worried about bricking my Switch, okay? I think, I mean, how much was it Canadian? It's almost like 900 Canadian, I think, the Mario Kart bundle, right?
Yeah. Yeah, it was ridiculous.
Like, it's a little bit expensive out here for a Canadian. That's tough. And I was like looking up TikToks, and we were seeing some like modified Switch things, and I saw a few I wouldn't say friends, but I saw some like people I know on TikTok have bricked consoles by getting one of those like game cards that like unlocks all the games. So like I can imagine running Android on your Switch 2, which probably isn't possible right now. I haven't actually looked too much into the modding community. That's half of rent in Montreal. I wish that was half of rent, unfortunately.
Or did he mean Monterey? Was he talking about Monterey earlier? Oh no, that was someone else.
Yeah, someone else. Yeah, I mean, for some people, $1,000 is half their rent in Montreal. That'd be very true. People are wild. That's very true. Yeah, rent's
Couldn't have said it better
expensive here.
myself.
It's life is expensive, y'all. I'm glad that we have late night to just vibe out. It's like nothing to worry about. I have I my day starts at 10 a.m. tomorrow. Yeah, we're not gonna worry
Oh,
about that till tomorrow. We'll figure that out.
sounds like a tomorrow problem, which
Exactly.
is technically today. That's the thing that's scary.
Tomorrow problems are technically today. All your problems are valid. No. Oh. I wish it was like a really like cool deck that like, not to say none of these decks are cool, but I was like, I always like I'm dreaming for like a rogue deck to be like that I could just sit here and like be like, whoa, someone thought of the next greatest thing.
Blaziken.
Blaziken.
Blaziken is the next hot thing.
I feel like people in Montreal, I feel like there's people who are paying $1,800 a month in Montreal. You can definitely get less than, I mean, there's people who are renting out single rooms still for like $700, right? Like, it's not a full place that's your own. Montreal still has some cheap places, like, depending on where you live. But I think it's a lot more comparable to Toronto nowadays. Probably getting a little bit more bang for your buck, but we pay a lot more in taxes in Quebec than other provinces. And don't get me started with the gas prices being 30 cents more a liter than pretty much everywhere else in Canada. Did I see Sneaker Talk's Hop Station and Charizard deck? I saw they played at the Manta League Cup, and I didn't really pay too much more attention to that. That was crazy that there's already a League Cup. I know that stirred up some drama on Twitter. The Canada
really?
Day League Cup. Yeah, just like, not like true drama, I guess, but just like enough. Like people were yapping about it. The yappers do be yapping about anything, to be honest.
That's what I was about to say.
Sometimes it's just a slow day on Twitter, and you're like, "Yep, I'm gonna talk about the League Cup that happened on Tuesday." I mean, I'd be hyped to see if there's some 4th of July League Cups, right? I think the real
Surely
losers,
there will be.
like for us, it sucks that the Saint Jean Baptiste Day is not in July.
Saint Jean Baptiste League Cup would have went hard.
It would have been crazy. I'd be pulling out my hat with the blue, the Florida Lists. It'd be crazy. we could all.
Quebec Libre.
Yeah, exactly. They didn't realize it was a holiday for us. Yeah, exactly. It was cool though. Although for us, like, it feels so weird. Like, I'm not gonna lie, being in Quebec on Canada Day, it's like all of our grocery stores are open, and it's like you got some people with the fireworks, maybe some fellow Ontarians who have moved here. But other than that, it's like St. John Baptiste Day is like definitely the one that takes precedent, and it's lit. We take those.
Speaking of we take those, I think Phoenix has taken Cambo's whole life here. The whole family's getting taken away. Yep, there's a 3-prize turn, and that's the game. And that was an unfortunate game too. We didn't really talk about it much, but Cambo was just getting
Wait,
run
that
off
was
the
game
board.
2?
Never really got. I believe so. Yeah.
So
Just got run off the board.
we have Nanas as Nanas
As our first finalist.
as our first finalist. Now, do we have anyone else streaming?
I don't think so.
Oh,
Because
no.
the other streamer was the Gholdengo that got eliminated by the.
Were any of them? I don't think any of them have streamed at all, right? We didn't see Phoenix Bloss stream all night, and we haven't seen
No.
any of the other players. Okay, it looks like we're probably switching it over to the casting booth and going back to our cam, and we're probably calling it a night.
Yep, I think so.
That's okay. We are.
It was a good stream.
If I could just go ahead and find you on Discord, that'd be really cool. Okay, we are here. I'm pretty tired too. I'm not gonna lie, I totally was doing some of my Mario Kart free roam while we were just like here with my controller, and I'm like, you wanna what? Dragapult's chilling. We're gonna watch about Dragapults. Unfortunate that we're not able to be watching this all the way to the finals tonight. Guess we could kind of talk about the decks that we have here for just like a hot minute before kind of calling it. So we saw the Dragapult Dusknoir, and that deck is going to make it all the way to the finals. Now, anything interesting that you liked about this deck compared to anything else?
The Dragapult Dusknoir, I do think it's probably the best way to play Dragapult right now. If you want to be announcing Phantom Dive, I do think you kind of need some ghosts. The ghosts help patch up your matchups a little bit into the Guardy and the Grimmsnarl. Kind of allows you to get that board wipe potential. Other than that, I think the Lux Cape is a really good inclusion. I think this list is really, really solid. The Lux Cape, again, helps you into those two big matchups, Guardy and Grimmsnarl. Protects you against the Devo. So I think overall, just a solid list. Good player and good deck.
And what do we have on our other games? I know that they just started going off in their games, and they're talking, you rather gear than the mist, question marks. Love when players ask each other those questions. We have Charizard now. Is this pretty similar to what Fernandez was playing at NEIC?
Well, let me take a look here. It might be his exact list. Did he play Gear? I don't think Fernandez played Gear.
I think that's what they were asking in chat, because the other player is Gabriel Fernandez, which is absolutely wild to have these star power players. Like, sometimes coaching can't buy this. We have Zorark in the top. So Zorark against Charizard, is that favored?
It's definitely favored. It's definitely favored if the Zorark isn't on Devo, which Gabriel Fernandez is not. The Zorark player is not on Devo. So definitely pretty interesting.
Yeah, we're gonna have to see how this all plays out. So we have a Zorark, we have a Charizard. One of those decks is gonna play in the finals up against the Dragapult Charizard. You can see all the standings here, all the deck lists there, some really strong records across the board. But unfortunately, no one else to be able to kind of stream that gameplay. And that's what happens at these events. Sometimes you run into players who are playing off their iPhone and they're like, look, I'd rather just not. It's a lot to handle. I know for me, sometimes you got Discord going, you're watching a stream, and like it's just like, I don't know. I feel like some small devices, like sure, there's some definitely powerful devices. Some people are rocking on like those like old homeschool computers, whatever, like the PTCG Live minimums. So no shade, no nothing. Definitely was fun streaming. And I appreciate you co-casting, Dario, the first late night of season 11.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, no worries. Well, if anyone needs to find any of us, Dario, where can we find you on socials?
At PolarPT, Polar_PT on Twitter. I have my Metafy, the links are all in there. Yeah, I do cheap coaching.
Word. And if you're looking for some not so cheap coaching, and if you're looking to go on the other end of that, your boy offers coaching, Zach Lesage or Zach Lesage PTCG anywhere. Metafy, Zach Lesage on Twitter, the Shuffle Squad on YouTube, and of course you're playing in the late night events. We do have late night. All of the events are created for the entire season. They're every single Wednesday. So if you're looking to sign up for any of those events and maybe get your games featured on the next tournament, let us know. Additionally, if you're looking to be a caster, kind of get your first kind of feet wet in there, there's been a lot of TPCI official casters who have marked their debut right on this stream. Maybe you could be next if you're trying to find your way to the big leagues. They are watching at TPCI, so shout out TPCI for tuning in on the stream. Both of us here casting are we're open. I don't know if we did the best job. I'm not I don't know if I felt like I was as knowledgeable as like Ethan Haggy or Chip Ritchie, or as whimsical as Pumpkin Amy, but I washed my hair today, so we got that going for us.
Yeah, I think my commentary hopefully was good. I think it started deteriorating near the end. I'm getting really tired. Um, but yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed.
That's fair. You want to know what? Sometimes these days go long, so we kept talking at the very least. I think your commentary is great. I think you're super knowledgeable.
Thank you.
So I appreciate everyone for tuning in. Since we're on YouTube, we can't necessarily baton pass this to anyone else, but we will click stream ends. If anyone wants to support the stream, feel free to leave a super chat there. I think they're like $2. All that does go back into supporting Late Night and going back into prizing, supporting the Shuffle Squad. Other than that, we'll catch up with all y'all next week. Maybe not just us two, maybe new faces. We'll see how it goes.
All right, see you guys.
Peace out.